Oi, everyone, big up, man. We've made it through what has been an absolute treacherous week of international football. We've got Friday now, and of course, we've got weekend football of action coming up, but we're not in it. Thank you very much, Mikel Arteta. Excellent. Really, really, really appreciate that. But yeah, we've got a few bits to talk about, of course. Some of you may have seen in the title, we're going to call out Charlie Boy Watts for, just for being him and for what we had a little altercation back and forth. And we're going to be showing you the messages and we're going to be ripping them to shreds. Also, as well, we've got a bit of Arteta v Emery. We're going to see what phase 5 looked like on Emery's first season. That'd be quite interesting. And to dissect it all, I'll go through the panel clockwise. Excellent panel, of course, as always. Shane, how you doing, my friend?
All good, mate. All good. Can't complain. Looking forward to tag teaming in for Charlie Watson for going through the Emery Arteta debate, which is a non-debate to me. But yeah, looking forward to it, man.
Yeah. Now big up, and obviously it's a pleasure as well, and it's always a pleasure, Jez, as well for you coming in yet again for another stream. It's always greatly appreciated, my friend. How you been?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, good. Yeah. At least we got the ball fest of international football out of the way. Doesn't float my boat at all, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I did watch a game the other night, a team that actually can get it over the line, and that's the Arsenal ladies. I thought they were excellent the other night. Absolutely excellent. To come from 2-0 down to win 3-2, that's what a proper football team does. So, yeah, maybe we should bring a few of them into the men's team. They actually play with passion. But, yeah, looking forward to the show, mate. And these illustrious panel guests I'm with again, as always. So, yeah, good one.
Yeah, no, big up, Jez. And again, always, thank you very much for being here. And the same as well for you, DJB. Such short notice. But, the legend that is D to the J to the B is here, man.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Big up, everyone. Big up the panel and all the listeners. I'm just another weekend off of quarter-final FA Cup action. So, I'll be watching the old FA Cup this weekend. Unfortunately, we're not in it again. So, yeah, as I said, no surprises there. But I'll be watching with interest to see who gets through. So that'd be interesting. I'm like Jez. I've got not much interest in the early stages of World Cups and qualifiers and all of that. It's a bit of a snore fest, really. One or two that I'll keep an eye on, but other than that, yeah. Happy to be here, Aaron. Thank you very much, and looking forward to the show, guys. Yeah, all good.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, man. And like I said, for everyone, always appreciate you giving your time up, and Normski as well, man. We're all busy people as well, and I know you do a lot, Normski. So it brings a smile on my face to have your face here with me on screen as always, my friend. How you been, man?
Yeah, man, good, all good. Been a bit of a busy day today at work and stuff like that, but yeah, all good. First of all, my son passed his driving test today.
Hey.
First time. Set out about 6 o'clock this morning to take his test. Actually take his driving lesson, and then at 7:15, he went for his test and rang me on the phone. Dad, I've passed.
That's it.
Now we can't see him for life and money now. It means he's out.
Freedom.
Normski, that's when you thought you had a bit of money in the bank. This is it now. He's passed his test. Dad, I've got to insure it. Dad,
it's all done. Oh, mate, I'll tell you.
Dad, I've had a whack. Can you do this? Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, so it's made my day. And obviously, coming on the show tonight, big up to the chat, big up to the panel. Really appreciate you having me on, Aaron. And yeah, let's get into this, mate. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to what's going to be on the menu tonight. You know what I mean? And
yeah, man. No, listen, yeah, and as well, just a second again. Yeah, big up to Junior Normski, man. Yeah, well done for passing your test, bruv. Good for you, man.
I did nearly give him a slap the other night. You know what I mean? Remember? I forgot to mute my mic.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm just worried what he'd have got if he'd have failed his test. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have found it the second time, eh?
No,
obviously I know.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the young man. Good for him.
I'll let him know.
Nah. Good for him. Look, I don't know how old he is. I passed mine at 23. Way too.
He's 20.
Really.
He's 20.
Oh, he's 20. So it's still a good age.
Oh, yeah.
Still a good age. You know what I mean? And Yeah, no, big up to him. Carl, hopefully you're doing a little bit better. I know you was a little tad bit frustrated last night without being able to go on a certain channel. You know, I know you wanted to say your bit. How are you doing, my friend, after the disappointments of that? You know what I mean? And,
yeah, apart from getting into a bit of an altercation with Fan Zone TV regarding should we be playing Saka, yes or no, and that, you know, they said we will arrange to do a show, and I said name me a time and date, and I'll be there. And they said okay, 10 o'clock tonight, which would have been last night. I'm like, okay, cool, send me the link and I'll be there. Did I get the link? Did I buggery?
yeah,
Disingenuous.
I was waiting.
Invite me on. At least, you know, send me a link. At least show some. I actually had to pester them on the group chat by basically turning around and saying, "Oh well, I suppose you're not going to send me this link then. I suppose you don't want the smoke."
Yeah, that's it. They're bottled out, mate.
Yeah.
Bottled out.
So
yeah,
quite upset about that because I could have done my own show last night and got more views, more subs. But yeah, so a night wasted. However, tonight will not be wasted.
Yeah, good man. And do you know what as well? It's like one of them things. I think like the people with the opposite opinion to us, and I'm going to start with one of them, Charlie Watts, in a minute.
What channel's
But I
that?
think-
Fam Zone TV. The two guys that run it is a Liverpool fan who's actually okay, to be honest with you. But then there's the Arsenal guy who is, I think he's got his head on back to front. That's the politest way I could say it, Jess.
Yeah, I think a lot of channels like that. I think they're very, very, very comfortable in the zone of everyone around them thinks the same. And look, people might sort of say the same of me. I've got a panel of like-minded guests. However, I'm absolutely 100% happy to go on and have a chat with a gal, and I have done already. You know, I'm not afraid of that. I actually warrant it. When people come on with a different opinion, I invite them on. They just never come on. However, that other one, they just don't like our opinion. They don't like being challenged. And I think that sort of channel, they just nest themselves around people only that will ever think their way. I mean, that's fair dues to them. But yeah, I just don't think they like being challenged. I'm just going to come to the chat before I get started and say big up. Hello, Lawrence, mate. How you doing, buddy? Mob boss, how you doing, my friend? Hendo as well. Always a pleasure, mate. The assembled. Geezer. Ace, as always, OG in this chat, my friend. You will come on. Don't worry. The link will be in the chat. Macy, WWF World Wrestling Federation champion. Yeah, you will come on. Don't worry, my man. Joseph, all good, brother. Always good to see you, mate. Dazza, big up, my friend. And obviously, Dad's in the house, isn't he? Yeah, Aaron's cousin, international footballer. She did play for Arsenal as well. Yeah, I was saying that to. Did I say that to Lee off camera? I think her and Chloe Kelly used to go to football together for the Arsenal. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, and Aces, yeah, big up to you as well. Scott in the building. Hello, mate. What's happened with Charlie Watts? Well, I will get into that in just 2 seconds, my friend. Vic Sand, yeah, is another OG. Big up to you, Vic, man. Always good to see you in my chat. Nomsky's having a little like, and Miss Potts as well, my dear. How are you doing? And just what Miss Potts is saying, smash them likes, and I hope you're well, my dear. Always good to see you in the chat. So yeah, I'm going to start off with a little bit about Charles Watts. Now I'm assuming we all sort of have some form of grasp about Charles Watts. You know, he's apparently in the know. He's quite a well-known Arsenal journalist. He's in all the pre-match talks with Arteta, you know, asking all the questions. Used to work for Football.London, then Goal. Now I think he's freelancing. He's got a YouTube channel in which he has, I think, 110,000 maybe subscribers. And that's actually where me and him had just a very brief little back and forth. 1 second. Tone, big up, my friend. How you doing?
All good. All good. Cheers.
Big up, mate.
How you doing, mate?
Always a
Good
pleasure.
evening, gents. So everyone's
Pleasure to
well.
have you here, my friend.
Good evening, my friend.
Yeah. So yeah, Tone, I was just sort of talking about Charles Watts. So I don't know if you know him or not. A well-known Arsenal journalist, let's just say. Anyways, I was watching his channel, as I always do, because as much as I love listening and always have done to the Kennys and the Jezzes and the Lees of this planet, because I associate my opinion with pretty much similar to them. As much as I like watching all of our opinions and all of our channels on air, I also quite like listening to the other side of the door, you know, just to sort of see if they're going to change my mind. Let's have a go. So I was watching Charles Watts's video on Wednesday, and it was sort of about Saka and Odegaard and all of that sort of stuff. And it's something that's a channel as big as sort of his is portraying to a lot of Arsenal fans, and it just gave me the ump on Wednesday. And that was this specific phrase. Oh, well, you know, Odegaard is missing his mate in terms of Bukayo Saka. And I'm sorry, people, panel, I'm fairly sure you're all going to agree with me. I have absolutely had enough with the multiple loads of bullshit that all of these top gooners come out with. And it just sickens me. And sitting there and just think, he's a captain, crying out loud. Why is he crying? So I sort of thought, you know what, I'm going to message in. And I don't usually do that and give people time. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to message in the comment to Charles. And to my surprise, Charles wrote back. Okay, let's have a little look to see what old Charles was saying, because I'm gonna put it up on the screen for everyone. So I've wrote to him, yeah. I've wrote to him. Henry and Ashley Cole didn't cry when Pires was injured in 2002. They won the league. They won the league that year. They won the double. Odegaard had the chance as captain to step up and be the main man without his mate Saka. Instead, he has been cowardly. I thought, yeah, I'll just write that in there. Well, Charles wrote back, and guess what? Charles ate his Weetabix that morning. Absolute rubbish, mate. Okay. And have you seen or heard Odegaard cry? Now, come on, Charles, man. This is when I knew that we were going to get basement reactions from him. Have you seen or heard him cry? Already he starts with a ridiculously weak comeback, borderline pathetic. And Pires got injured at the end of March, not December. Right, stop. Okay, so they both got injured for 3 months. Odegaard's was in December. Pires got injured at the end of the season, towards the end of the season. You know, in the title running, you know, in the Champions League knockouts, in the FA Cup knockouts. He got injured, yes, in the most important fucking part of the season, Charles. What? Show me your logic there, please. And not December. He thinks that he's actually backtracking that. You're proving my point, Charles. And there was still, this is the best bit, people. And there were still plenty of other top-level attackers in 2002, unlike now. Oh, okay then. So you're telling me the geezer that has wrote your book on the Arsenal Revolution, and it's still here. Here we go. You wrote a book about all of this Arsenal Revolution, and it's still on sale for 20 quid. Would you believe it? It's actually got, look, a Sunday Times best seller. This absolute crap. This mutant, this goblin was writing this absolute nonsense. A bestseller. He's now telling me that this is the rise of Arteta's Arsenal. Yeah, this is a revolution. But while we're having a little Twitter exchange, you're telling me that we just don't simply have the attackers. How or why have we not got them attackers, Charles? I'm absolutely dying to know. Is it maybe because you're Arteta and his revolution just ain't revolutioning or something, Charles? I just don't quite get it. But you're happy to sell books at 20 quid and talk nonsense and peddle out crap to all your moronic Gen Z fans that ain't got a clue. They just want to be part of something. And now you're telling me we just don't have the squad for it. Why haven't we got the squad for it, Charles? I don't really understand, mate. Because if you're telling me that Arsenal are in a revolution, then we should be having that now, shouldn't we? It's phase 5, is it not, Charles? Now, listen, he's going unlike now. But don't let something like context get in your way or anything. Oh, well, so he's got his big boy pants on as well now, Charles. He's giving it the absolute baz, isn't he? So I just wrote back to him. And I thought, yeah, I'll give him a little bit of context, yeah? And this is what you got to do with these people. So, but Charles, mate, I haven't seen Odegaard do absolutely anything. And that's the whole point. And not having his mate Saka is such a weak excuse for his poor 18 months. Why has he hid behind Ranieri, who stepped up in Saka's absence? You nicely swerved my point about our captain to fail stepping up when required. And that, look how bad this geezer backtracks. Oh, not enough. As I've said countless times, Arteta, the club, everyone involved have not done enough, and they have paid the price this season. Well, that's quite a funny little backtrack from your message. You're talking absolute rubbish, mate. Not like you need context, son, is it? But now you give them just a little ounce of context, they shit their little knickers, didn't they? It's unbelievable. So I wrote back to him after he wrote that, and of course you can see it. It's like, at least as a whole we can agree on that, because we can agree on that. They've all not done anywhere near good enough. But I bet your Revolution book still sells, though, innit? Anyway, yeah, we can at least agree on that. Odegaard with a nice little hat trick, because he mentioned he was going all giddy, everyone. Absolutely giddy about Israel against Norway, and Odegaard getting a hat trick of assist against Israel. So I just put, oh, yeah, nice hat trick of assist yesterday. Now do it against Madrid. Be a captain. Charlie Boy Watts didn't respond. This is what we are dealing with, yeah? And this is why I wanted to pull it up, because in its essence, it's just a little mini back and forth. But this is just exactly what people like him peddle out to us as Arsenal fans and expect us all to gobble it up. And all of his 110,000 subscribers, and along with everyone else in all his different platforms that he puts out to the media, read all his absolute nonsense. But the second they get called out or come back, they've got absolutely nothing to say. And this is exactly why it's worrying, because just like Arteta and Arsenal and all of their PR, all he cares about is cashing in. Why? Because he's sold a book called The Arteta Revolution 1.5 fucking years into that revolution. We hadn't even finished second twice then, but apparently that's also a bit of a success, isn't it? Well, I just don't get it. And I want to come to the panel with this, yeah, because I've sort of had enough with all the excuses, all of that. And need people like Charles Watts sending absolute crap to people, writing absolute crap, and then contradicting themselves seconds later with his crap book. Shane, Shane, what do you reckon on all of this? It's ridiculous.
It's absolute nonsense, but we know this. You see, this is what, you know, that back and forth pretty much explains the uphill battle that we all face every day.
Background noise here. Sorry, yeah, a bit of typing. Someone's going on. I don't know who it is, but yeah, there's a little bit of a noise in the background. I don't know who it is. Yeah,
whoever's typing is echoing. Anyway, yeah, look, this is what we're dealing with. Is basically that back and forth. It's like talking to the wall. It's the mentality of someone that's in a cult. It's the mentality of someone that has invested so much in a single opinion that the idea of backing down terrifies them, you know. And to be talking about Odegaard's hat-trick of assists against Israel, you know, he's playing the ball through to Storlot and Haaland and players like that. Because of our recruitment, he has no one to play it through to. Even if Odegaard was on form, it wouldn't make a difference. But this is the type of threatened behaviour that you're dealing with. He will never back down because of his bulk. How on earth could he back down because of his? He couldn't, because he'd be made a fool of. But the problem is, like you said before we came on, you said, like, you know, you'll listen to the top gooners' arguments, and if they can change your mind, they can change your mind. I want them to change my mind, because I don't like feeling like this. I don't like supporting my team when I hate the manager. It's the worst feeling in the world to have to get up for a game. When I'm flying over to London now on Tuesday to go watch the game, and I've no excitement for it, you know. And I'm dreading seeing Saka on the bench. I'm dreading seeing if he's on the bench and he rushes this guy back, you know. And I was talking to Views there yesterday, I think it was. When we were talking about it, like, would he bring Saka back if he wasn't fit? And I said, Arteta has lied and he's manipulated for so long now that even when if he's telling the truth, I automatically don't believe him. You know what I mean? Like, he's done it so often that you just have no faith in anything he says. It's like when your teenage son goes through a stage of lying all the time, and the rare time they tell the truth, and you say, I don't believe you. You never believe me, and you go, well, you're lying all the time. It's the same thing with Arteta, and these people, these Charlie Watts and these. Not so much Igal. I mean, he's got a bit of innocence about him, you know. He's just trying to be a fan. But this sort of peddling nonsense, and then backing and ignoring the points that you make and things like that's, you know. Did you see him cry? Did you? You know, that's a turn of phrase, saying, oh yeah, he's crying. You know, you mean he's trying to make out that you were saying, oh, the guy was actually crying. What a pathetic comeback. You know,
that's how you deal with it, Jane.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That was and you always open with your strongest argument. You know what I mean? And then you roll out the rest of them. But this is what you're dealing with, and this is the problem, and this is how this 15 million a year gimp gets to stay in charge, because you have so many cult followers that you know they'll never change their mind, and the board know it, and that's the problem.
Yeah, no, it's facts, man. Jez, what are you saying on it, man? I know things like this piss you off as well, man. What's your take on this, mate?
Well, let's be fair. Right, that's a statement, not in quote, not in us. I'll state it.
Someone got a bit of music on the background or something like that.
Yeah,
Proper a bit of background. Someone's got background noise. It's like sounds like a bit of music or something.
Somebody's trying to play guitar somewhere.
Oh, that's a bloody woman downstairs. Pain in the arse. Bear with me.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Go on. So no worries, mate. Yeah, go on. Sorry, Jez.
Yeah, as he says, not enough. As I've stated countless time, Arteta, the club, everyone involved in it have not done enough. He would never say that in a press conference, and he would never say that to Arteta. He's an absolute fraud. The guy doesn't know F all about football. He doesn't know F all about the club. All he does is spit and repeat what bullshit he's fed. He's a club man, right? That's the only reason he used to, or he still does, gets into press conferences, because he's a yes boy. He'll bend over for the club. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I've got no time for these people. I'll give them no credit. They're not journalists. They're just yes men. Oh yes, I've got to say that. I won't ask any difficult questions. I don't want to get booted out. I don't want to lose my pass. Well, that's what a journalist does. They dig and delve, right? Get and ask awkward questions. That's their job. It's to get the truth. And this guy will never speak the truth because he's too much of an arsewipe. And yeah, I don't listen to them. I've got no time for them. I mean, that book, would I buy it? Not in a cat and owl's chance. Revolution. What revolution? What the revolution of making Arsenal shit? That's all it is. So no, not interested, man. Not interested.
Yeah, listen, man. It's an absolute farce, the geezer. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's absolutely coining it from all the Arsenal fans while spitting all of this absolute nonsense. It is just nonsense. And do you know what I mean? The second you start calling him out, I'm surprised he started giving it a little bit of the Barry, like I said, like he had his Weetabix in the morning. Do you know what I mean? And then as soon as you shut them down, they don't say anything. And as soon as you start writing a little bit, they can't say anything. They disappear. Do you know what I mean? It's madness. What do you reckon, DJB, on it, man?
I think the fact that he wrote a book, The Arsenal Revolution, tells you everything you need to know about this man.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he's even put that word revolution in a title containing Arsenal under this manager just tells you everything you need to know. See, the thing is, right, the problem is that he's in a long line of people on the internet, on YouTube, fans that just jump on bandwagons and don't really understand where the club has come from, the core roots of football, the core roots of any football club. And this is a guy just in a long line of people that just falls on the back of everything this manager stands for. And everything this manager stands for is the fallout after COVID, rallying, getting fans on the side of him, the PR, the kind of gloss and the crap that comes out of this manager's mouth in press conferences, what we've seen on the field of play this season, has been completely bang average. And this guy's just epitomises the sort of circle of people this guy has around him.
Yeah.
This is what Arteta's built.
Yeah.
This is why it's so hard to remove this guy, because he's built a whole circle of people and fans and certain content creators and all of that. He's built this whole kind of circle around him, and he's like Christ Almighty walking around the football field. Do you know what I mean? He's got that such bigger following. You know, I'm surprised that they haven't got like crosses and symbols of Arteta and stuff like that. And this guy just epitomises everything about it. I mean, you've only got to read some of the sentences in his book. You know, when he's coming out with the final of the European League, something has to, you know, and he's coming out with all. I mean, you've only got to read in this Sunday Times that you've got up there. Just reading the first few sentences. I mean, languishing eighth. He's talking as if Unai Emery was an absolute devil in disguise, you know, that was only appointed to make it worse at Arsenal Football Club. Unai Emery, factually, and this is facts, Unai Emery has achieved more than this manager will probably ever achieve.
Yep.
And this is a guy writing a book that says we was languishing when he took over. The word languishing is if to say we was in the pits, we was like, you know, we was finished, you know, we were like non-league, it was all awful. Come on, man. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You know, it's disrespectful for the manager that this guy took over from. And as I said, these are the sort of people that this man has suddenly got around him, you know, and it's just, yeah, no, big up to you, Aaron, I'm glad you got a reply from him, because getting back to the Odegaard thing is the amount of people that I've heard, like yourself, has said, oh, you know, he's not as effective because Saka's been injured. And it's all right them tracking back and saying like, oh yeah, no, it's not what we quite said. It's not what you have been saying it. You've been saying the reason why Odegaard is playing and performing like he is because he hasn't had Saka or he's missed Saka. And these quotes have been said time and time again. I've watched streams and this is what people have actually been saying. No footballer should rely on another player missing to perform. Pure and simple. That is the bottom line. And him, the captain of the football club, should not be relying on anyone. They should be relying on him, not him relying on other people to perform. They should be looking up to him. And this is where it's all got wrong. And this guy, as I said, he's just in a long line of bandwagon people that just jump on, say the right things. Half of them are on the payroll. They don't want to upset anyone, but they know this man ain't right for the job. They all know. So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
You've only got to read that middle paragraph there. Says it all.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the story of how Mikel Arteta turned Arsenal. Yeah,
this is what I'm saying. The fact that this guy has even put a book out and named it The Revolution. Well, if he'd have come in and won 2 league titles and made a final of the Champions League, I can then start looking at some sort of revolution. But to win 1 FA Cup with, by the way, the team that was languishing 8th was the squad by Unai Emery, who this guy won the FA Cup with, that he binned.
Yeah.
Doesn't mention that in the book, does it? Doesn't mention that he binned Arteta. Doesn't mention that he binned Aubameyang, who won in the FA Cup, who was there under Unai Emery. Doesn't mention that Martinelli was balling out, who has fallen off of a cliff under Arteta.
Yeah.
No mention of that in the book, is there? So I'm just sick of it, man. I'm just sick of all these people that are just jumping on the bandwagon. And I don't
it's funny though, isn't it?
You know, it's ridiculous. I go every week and I have been for 50 years, so I don't need to jump on the bandwagon. If anyone wants to come and meet me at the ground, they're welcome to come and meet me at the ground. You'll only last about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, listen, facts, mate.
It's laughable. This whole, I mean, I haven't read the book. I have no intentions of reading it. I'm not interested in his waffle, his lies, bullshit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, fact, absolute fact. The other night, Tuesday night, you, me, and Kenny went through.
Yeah.
Right? Our best 17-man squad.
Yeah.
And not one of these current players got in our squad.
No, none of them.
What does that say to you? Because the fact remains.
And this is a revolution.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, what a revolution.
The fact
Sorry,
that the guy sold better players, never replaced them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think with your knowledge, Kenny's knowledge, and my own knowledge of between us, probably 150 years of watching football combined.
Yeah.
We've got a better knowledge of this club than this clown, right? And not one of these current players. And we mentioned a few players from the current squad never got in our best 17.
Exactly, mate. And the thing is, though, as well, though, guys, I mean, what you got to realise as well is, you know, this guy's he's just pumping out content, and he's got all the fact that he's got all them followers, and all those followers are happy for Arsenal to finish runners up.
Yeah.
All those followers, most of them that think that finishing runners up and finishing second, third, fourth, making the Champions League is progression. And this is where the club is. And can I just say as well, though, what sickens me as well about people like this and a lot of the followers that he's got and the fans of Arsenal Football Club is the disrespect they have for other teams is an absolute joke. The disrespect they have for teams like, you know, the West Ham, Nottingham Forest, people like this, and they all think that, you know, we've got the divine rights, we're Arsenal, and we've got the divine right. You're living in the past. We haven't done anything for 20 odd years, guys. Look at the facts. The club is mediocre as it stands right now with a mediocre team. Simple as that.
Yeah. No, listen, it's facts as well. And to make a little point on it as well, that's why I wanted to get his little best time in selling bits up. So one, obviously, people can just have a little read. And like I said, you've all been reading it on the panel in the chat, just at what nonsense this geezer is coming out with. You look at it, come out on the was it in August? Was it sometime in August? I think it says, August 28th, 2023. Like we'd finished second place once, and that's a revolution. And bearing in mind, he's probably writing it for a year. Bear that in mind. So he's writing probably that easily for a good year. Yeah. So that means he probably maybe at least at the bare minimum started in 2002. How did that go? We finished bottled of fifth place. Boys, at the end of that season, a year before this book came out, easily he was working on it for a year. There's no way that he was only working on it for a couple of months. It probably reads like he was, but it's ridiculous, mate. And you sit there and you just think as well with the points here that you've all made, especially you, DJB, when they use the word, and I was going to go for it as well, and I'll go back in, languish in 8th in the league. I can't remember the exact points. I just tried having a quick little look, but unfortunately...
And look what he's wrote. Yeah, I mean, look what he's wrote here. Emery's 18 months of Arsenal boss seen the team and the club go backwards.
Yep, mate. These are the exact points I'm going to hit on.
If I was Unai Emery reading this, I'd be getting my lawyers out.
Yeah.
That mate,
I'm not joking. Those words there from a man that obviously seen the team go backwards. Well, where's it gone now then, my friend? Where is it now then?
DJB, he doesn't need his lawyers in because he's been continuously kicking our ass since we sacked him. That's his revenge.
The team that goes backwards is run by the manager that's like had the last laugh over us for the last 2-3 seasons.
Boys, but if you look at DJB, sorry to interrupt you, Aaron. DJB, if you look at the fact that it says there, this book will be the first of its kind to explore the workings of Arteta's philosophy. If you can understand that, hats off to you first of all, and how he's transferred the club from outsiders to total challengers. Then he's going to tell you about his tactical innovations. So let's see that. How many times have you seen him doing this? Looks around, looks that side, and you see the coaching team going, I don't know. I think so. Yeah. That's his tactical innovation straight away. His in-game strategies. You know, his transfer insight. Wow, that's really
we've got transfer insight with a defensive midfield player who's not good enough for Arsenal Football Club to play there. Is our main striker.
Exactly.
Laughing, wasn't it?
And the best part about it, because I think who's the guy? One of the guys in the chat was saying about bestseller. But if you look at the bottom there, Charlie Watt's book, Revolution was a Sunday Times bestseller week commencing the 28th of August 2023.
Yeah.
And he's still trying to earn off of this book.
Yeah, still 20 quid. Still 20 quid. That's just on one website. This is Amazon. This is the first one I clicked on because I wanted to obviously get up there. What's it? Is it a prologue or whatever it's called? The opening bit? I don't know.
Yeah,
But either way, just so you can see this opening sort of section.
Yeah. It's kind of like the introductory to this great guy that we all now need to believe in. And guys, if I could just come in right here now, because
go, bro.
I'm sitting here and I'm reading this for the first time.
Yeah, same as me.
That's why I got it up, gents. This madness.
Listen, I even wanted to say to you, Aaron, what was the context of this whole thing? And I'm so glad you didn't say anything to me, because sometimes you say something, then you've then made up your mind what you're going to think. Now I'm looking at this first of all, and bro, this is an autobiography, I would assume, because if you're writing a biography, you're sitting down with the guy, and he will tell you about his story and whatever.
Yeah. Now,
if Arteta had anything about him, if he had any integrity, people, if he had any integrity, he would go back to Charles Watts and say, guys, Charles, this is not really me. This is not really me. I think you got it wrong. Yeah. Because this is what you call the most gaslighting intro. Yeah. If nobody didn't tell me, I would think this guy was the greatest manager since life's bread. Seriously. I'm reading it and I can't believe what I'm reading.
Don't forget though, when Charles Watts messaged me back, he said to me, but we don't like context though, do you? To me. But what's his context there?
Yo, let me tell you this now. These top gooners love a context. Yeah, they love a context. You know what I mean? It's the buzzword. Yeah. And this comes from Arteta. He's got these guys, these top gooners. Yeah. And he's got his sparring partner, a certain man called Tom Canton. Yeah, he's his sparring partner. And these guys, I don't know what it is. If he's, about me when I talk about plugged into the matrix. Nesta says it well. They're plugged into the Arteta matrix, and they just cannot see anything wrong with how this guy is running this club. It is unbelievable. We see things with our eyes. We speak facts. Yeah, but they live in hope and copism. That's what they live in. They're hoping that this guy will make it work. And as you said, DJB, looking at this, it's like if I was Unai Emery, I'd be calling this man and saying, "What, you're slandering my character? This guy, I'm telling you now, people, this guy cannot tie Unai Emery's bootlaces, mate. Yeah, he cannot tie Unai Emery's bootlaces. Much more Wenger." Right, honestly, I'm reading it. That's why I was in silence. I'm like,
the same as me. It's the first time I've seen it.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
The problem with it, though, the problem with
in-game strategies. What's the in-game strategy? 4-3-3, 4-3-3, 4-3-3, 4-3-3.
No. Don't forget, it's all about your light bulbs and your lemons and all that.
Yeah, mate.
That's the in-air strategy.
Doors, mate. I still got my light bulbs. My light bulbs are here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's
light bulbs.
But
and your sound system on the training ground singing.
And the sound system, you never walk alone.
Yeah. Look, but unfortunately, full well, there are certain Arsenal fans that actually buy into this.
That's what I've been saying, yeah.
And that's the worst thing about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've got some really good Arsenal friends, and also Aaron, Jez, and obviously I know Norski, you've been on the show. Carl spoke to you. DJB, I've watched you with Jez. You guys are great at what you talk about, and you talk because you're real fans. But when you look at some of the other people, you think to yourself, you're just, you're buying into the Arteta, as I call it, the dark arts. They definitely buy into this man, but I don't know. He can not just walk on water. This bloke can walk on anything, and he seems to get away with it.
Yeah. Mate, it's absolute madness, though, isn't it? You look at a lot of the paragraphs on there, and the one that makes me sort of like laugh. Is that whereas, like with the including bust ups, COVID, the disappointments, ever got wins? Wins? He's put an S on the end of wins. What's he talking about?
Yeah, no,
He's
forgot
won
to
it
mention-
once with Unai Emery's team, where he's
No, he
slagging
forgot-
off in there, and then
he
he
forgot-
ain't got past the 4 fucking rounds since.
He
What
forgot
we
the dog. He
doing
forgot the
here?
dog. I think he was talking about the dog.
Like,
But
come
don't
on,
forget
what we doing here?
the two other. Don't forget the 2 trophies. Don't forget the other 2
Oh, yeah,
things
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Plates, so
Yeah.
you forgot about the two
I
plates,
forgot about the charity shop.
Revolution. That's what that just that word.
Why?
Just that word.
Why?
really
No,
winds
just
me up.
that word alone. Just that word
Yeah.
alone. You're right, DJ. B. Just that word alone. How is this
Winds me
a
up.
revolution? How is finishing 8th twice, but in the league twice, not in a league title race? How is that a revolution?
I don't know.
But you know what it's all about? It's about phase 4.5. That's what it is. It's about 4.5. This guy cannot. And as you sorry to cut you, in that exchange that you had, Aaron, with him on X, yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember who said it. There's no way on planet Earth that guy would be saying that in a press conference.
Yeah, that's exactly what Jez said. And it's facts, mate. He ain't got the bollocks to do that.
Right?
Of course he hasn't.
Because these guys,
He admitted.
listen,
Yeah,
they
go on,
speak
sorry.
at the
Go on,
side. They
go on.
speak at the side of their mouths. Yeah, or I normally say it on my channel. Man speaks with forked tongue. Yeah, These guys speak with forked tongue because if you really was to sit them down and really ask them what they really thought, yeah, they're only in it there to get themselves in the Arsenal, whatever playground, Arteta's playground, get in there with the big boys, sort out their career. That's fair enough. If they want to be writers and journalists, fair enough. But listen, in this generation that we're the truth, they need to speak truth. There's no truth here. There's not one piece of truth in this autobiography, this Sunday bestseller. There's not one piece of truth.
Norski, Jez, you've been watching Arsenal a long time. What manager would you link this book to? Who would you link the revolution to? Me,
Arsene Wenger.
Arsene Wenger, George Graham.
George Graham, yeah.
Them sort of men, yeah? Them sort of men. Not this guy. Come on. Ridiculous.
You could even throw into that one there, DJ, right? If you want to go back and really look at a revolution, you'd have to say Bertie Mee, because Arsenal.
I know much about, but I know,
15 Chapman as well.
Yeah, Herbert Chapman. Yeah, the original. But
you can't link the word revolution to this bloke. It can't even be in the same dictionary.
The only way you could, DJB, is that revolutions in history have cost millions and millions of pounds. That's the only way you'll link a revolution to Arteta, is the amount of fucking money he spent.
Mate, it's an absolute fact, man. Yeah, just before I jump in again, people in the chat, we've got in total across the channel 70 people watching. 1, absolutely phenomenal. 2, like and subscribe to this stream, and don't you dare forget to like and subscribe to the boys as well. I've just posted all the links out there, and they will be made available in the description, of course. Yeah, man, this is sort of all madness when we're talking about all these revolutions and things like that. And I want to jump back on the on this. Emery's Arsenal languishing, 8th in the league. I'm sure we was only, was it 8 points?
We were 6 points off 4th.
Was it 6 points to be off 4th?
We were 6 points off 4th.
We had just dropped to 8 that week.
Yeah.
And languishing means it's been there for a long, long time.
Exactly, mate. So you sort of think how they're using this now to just steer that narrative with this.
Yeah.
They could have said the Gunners were in 8th place. And you said anything, well, you've got no real context as to how, because they love context, as to how they are 8th in the table. We've seen some seasons where there's 5 points separating 1st and 8th. Look at sometimes in the Championship. I mean, sometimes there's 5 points separating 1st and 10th. But look, that languishing, which means, oh my God, what a horrendous season, because they're languishing there. 6 points, like Cole just quite rightly said, 6 points off.
Languishing is where Ipswich
that's
are.
halfway through the
Languishing
season
is where
as well.
Southampton are. Languishing is where Man United and Spurs are.
Yeah.
Not where we was.
Yeah.
Languishing means you've been there a long time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's the thing. If we had literally just dropped it, if they want to start getting like that, then we're closer to 10th this season than we are to 1st, points wise.
The line, playing unimaginative, pragmatic football.
I'm sorry.
Sorry? Sorry? Okay. What we playing now then?
Staggering.
Mate,
crazy.
it's ridiculous, like I said, and I'll jump on that as well. And I will be looking, because I've just seen someone start a channel. We will get into that, DJB. I will get your link out there, my boy. Good. A little bit.
Not quite started yet, guys. Not quite started yet.
You're gonna fly, DJ, mate. You're gonna fly, bro.
I think I've sent you the wrong link, Aaron.
That's why I've just seen, sir. That's what I've just seen, sir. Yeah,
he's gonna fly, bro.
Depending on what we finish, I've got obligations at 10 o'clock. But either way, if we'll find either an opportunity later or tomorrow or whatever, give me a call on the phone and we'll talk. We'll set up a link and we'll get it sorted, DJB, and I'll get your link in there, my good sir. But buzzing, man, that's the first little bit, mate. Getting that in there. And I can't wait to be a part of what you got cooking up there, my friend. I'm sure your channel will fly, because you know what?
Definitely,
50 years of going to the stadiums and games built with all of the IQ, like Jez, like the boys all there, you know, the Kennys, Normski's got all the knowledge as well. Do you know what I mean? For them years. Yeah, man, we all need to hear people like you, Jez. That's why I love that show. And as well, people just diverting slightly off of it. Go and watch Jez's show, the old school show with Kenny.
Amazing.
JB, for crying out loud. Go and bloody watch that show, because just trust me, you've got 3 people with IQs bursting out their skulls like you don't ever see in the fucking life of YouTube. You won't ever see in the life of YouTube or the world of YouTube, because there's no other 3 that do it. It's a one-off. Go and bloody watch that stream, for crying out loud. But getting back, and I will sort of digress from the DJB thing. I'll get your link in there, my friend. Just give us 2 seconds. We'll have to do some computer playing first. But yeah, you know, just sort of swapping over here. Fan revolt. Let me just get this back over here in the middle paragraph. I'll highlight here. Fan revolt. Well, Charles, your revolution ain't going to be too far away from another one, kind sir. Let me get that absolutely right, because people are already slightly starting to turn now. I mean, there's high mass amount and numbers of absolute moron Arsenal fans that are still not ready to be unplugged. But listen, there will be a revolt coming if there isn't any more success at the end of next season, which there probably won't be. Why? Because Mikel Arteta's in charge. That's obviously why. Why do I say that? Because he's had 5 full seasons and he ain't done absolutely anything in either of them. It's absolute sort of madness where we go from here. Look at how evil this is. Can you see that on screen? I've highlighted it. Playing unimaginative, pragmatic football. What are we doing now then, boys? What are we doing now? Are we playing imaginative, fantastic attacking football now, are we, Charles? Well, because, you know, I'm sorry, my old good chum, but we are playing unimaginative, pragmatic football at the minute. And guess what? We ain't doing nothing with it, my man. We are a million miles off of where we need to be. And when you start writing this book, I don't know what drugs that you're on. Send me a number. I want some of it. But I mean, they must be some sort of good shit, because I mean, it's just almost absolute madness. And this is sort of what tie it on.
Well, Aaron, look at the last line of that paragraph. Look at the last line. Something had to change. A fresh head with a fresh ideas. A new leader. A new leader.
Thank you, Tony. I was going to end it, but yeah, thank you, Tony. That's the killer there. That's the line right there, Tone. Smashed it.
Did you know? Sorry, Aaron. Did you know what the thing is, though?
Familiar, in it, boys. Go on, sorry, Shane. What did you say, bro?
Yeah. Sorry. I don't mean to cut in. Like, this guy, right? He's a sleazy journalist, right? And you know, they have all the spine of a jellyfish. These guys, and he's. We were discussing it before, and we said that Arsenal must have a pit bull of a press officer, because they never let in any journalists who ask serious questions. Arteta gets the most pandered questions I've ever heard, but this guy here, he's got his nose so far up Arteta's arse that even if Arteta got sacked tomorrow, he'd do the exact same to whoever came in, because he just wants to be with the cool kids. You know, he'll do whatever it takes to be in these press conferences or to be on the side of the manager. So as soon as Arteta's gone, he will bury his nose in the hole of whoever takes over, and he'll do the exact same thing.
Yeah. No, absolute facts, man. Big up as well the Southern Gooner, Matty. If you haven't already, and you should already have done, go give Matty a subscribe at the Southern Gooner. Absolute legend. And I'll tell you what, you will never hear a caller accent in your life. The shyster, absolute geezer. Your brothers had to pull over I was almost going to do it all in his accent then, but I'll butcher it. I'll just stick with my.
You want me to say it? You want me to say it?
I love Matty's accent. It's just gold,
Hey,
mate.
man.
Absolute gold. You brothers had to pull over and leave this comment. Cheers, brother. Always welcome you being here, my man. You telling me 750 million and playing a defensive midfielder is a revolution?
He added
Matty,
he added onto the midfield bit as a striker.
As a striker, yeah. He had to correct himself.
Yeah. Was it a revolution? And when we knew that this summer we needed a striker, so what we done was we let Eddie Nketiah go, we let Nelson go, we let Vieira go, we let ESR go, and we signed a centre back that we play at left back and he can't defend, and we signed a shit centre midfielder who can't play centre midfield, and we play him up front and he can't play up front, and we don't sign a striker. What a revolution. Do you know what I mean? What we're doing here, but it's available in Amazon. Everyone, $19.99. What an absolute pile of shit! I wouldn't even wipe my ass with it. What an absolute load of crap that book.
Aaron, I'm so glad. I don't know if any other channels are doing this, which they're actually. Sometimes you need to scrutinize a book, critique things like this.
Yeah.
This is just the introduction, mate. Yeah, and it's just pure lies.
Exactly.
It's pure lies.
Yeah. I'm just going to come to the chat, and then I'm going to slightly sort of move it on, but not too far on, because my next topic links in quite nicely with it. But I just want to say hello to the chat, and as always, big up, man. Thank you very much for all the views. You're absolute superstars. Hit the like. Thank you very much, David King. And yeah, you're absolutely right, brother. Total joke of a football club. It's a shambles, because I remember when I was growing up wearing. You probably won't be able to see him behind me, but I've got a final game at Highbury Sol Campbell 23 shirt and a Patrick Vieira 4 shirt. And then a Dennis Bergkamp signed one in the background. I actually was so proud of my football club, man. I used to walk to school, walk down the pub, do whatever, especially in 2004 with my chest completely out with my shirt on. I absolutely loved it. Wow, them days are long gone, unfortunately, man. It's such a shame. But yeah, Luke James, big up, man. Thank you very much. Arteta is the chosen. Trust he is the chosen one. Yeah, well, he's chose wrong, isn't he? Whoever chose him chose wrong. Josh Kroenke is a little bitch. Southern Gooner, Matty, big up, man. I meant defensive midfielder. Yeah. We get it, my brother. Yeah, what's it? Yeah, we just got a couple of little bits in the chat here. Martin, big up, brother. What you saying? Yeah, sounds desperate to me. Yeah, he's a very desperate man, mate. Don't you worry about that. Topside Ivory, big up, geezer. The Wengerian crowd, yeah, never gave Emery a chance. Yeah, mate. To be fair, like I was one, and when it come to the Emery bit, mate, I wasn't really a sort of a fan. I couldn't really sort of see where he's going. But I tell you what, I'd have kept him if I knew Arteta was coming in. I can promise you that, mate. I can promise you that.
Aaron, if he was given the backing and the money that this fraudulent manager was getting, yeah, I guarantee we would have won something by now.
Oh yeah.
We would have won something. I'm guaranteed on that, bro. Yeah, look what he's done with Aston Villa. Look where he's taken Aston Villa. When he took them over, when Steven Gerrard left there, they were sitting languishing above relegation. Look what this guy has done.
Villarreal had never won a trophy in their history.
That's what I call a revolution, yeah?
No, Villarreal never won a trophy in their history, and he won a European trophy.
Right.
What we're doing here? Arteta won a FA Cup with his with his team. Like what we actually doing here? Dave King, big up, yeah. In the process, we trust. Yeah, absolutely right in it. Yeah, David King. Yeah. Get out of the club. Well, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I don't know whether that was a good or a bad thing, but I've got to move on because I'm sort of not pressed for time. But we've got to get through a couple of chats. Barca, big up, man. I like Barca Reacts. Go and give him a like and sub over there, man. He's a good lad with good ball knowledge. And I'm a Barca fan over a Real Madrid fan if I was to pick the two. So last season it was Pep's fault because he's too good. This year it's Emery. LOL, Manta Joker. Yeah, well, they're all absolute jokers, mate. DJ Craig, big up, brother. How you doing, my friend? Bradley Driscoll, what you saying? This Charlie has been drinking the Arsenal Kool-Aid, mate. Honestly, mate, there's something in the water at the Emirates, mate. And I'll tell you what, that water's about £5.50. It's an absolute joke. An absolute joke. Well, it is, isn't it? We're all laughing because we're like, oh, yeah, I've been stung for that.
You have to laugh, man. Or you cry, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
But just before we sort of move on to the next bit, I just wanted to present my little award to Charles Watts. Charles Watts, you are my wanker of the week. You stupid melt. Maybe if you want to give it to Barry McGuigan, maybe if you want to eat your Weetabix and have your big boy pants fully on, maybe don't back down after the second comment when you get the context that you asked for. Much love, wanker. Anyways, moving on. We're sort of going to steer quite sort of close to the Emery sort of Arteta thing, because the next thing I want to talk about is this. And let's get that picture off. Here's the revolution for you guys. Here's the revolution.
That's the one.
So the revolution is in Emery's first season after 29 games. He had 57 points with no backing because it was his first season, bearing in mind. And, he had a rotting team. Guess what? After 29 games, we're in phase 5. 5.5 years later, he's managed to amass 1 more point. What a fucking revolution. Jez, what we saying with these numbers, man? Because this just kind of this math ain't mathing. So for all these people that are like, we've got progression. Yeah, 1 point, half a decade, 750 million, uno pointo. What we doing, Jez? Come on, man. It's not making for good reading, is it, my brother?
Well, yeah. I mean, I actually liked Emery because actually, Axar, he got us to a European final in his first season. Right. All right. The team didn't turn up. That wasn't his fault. They basically just didn't bother and let Chelsea have an easy run that night. Embarrassing. That was the club. That's the team. Right. And if people want to put that on Emery, that he wasn't a good manager, then you don't know fuck all about football. The man was a proven winner. And when he left Arsenal, right, after he was booted, he went and did it again. So what we're saying, they, at Aston Villa, are in a quarter final. Let's play it right. Who got Arsenal to the quarter final of the FA Cup that Arteta won? Emery. It was Emery that got us there when he took over. Right? So, come on. You can't just twist things around to suit your fucking selves.
Jez, sorry to cut you off, buddy. It's 2 quarterfinals he's in this season because he's in the FA Cup as well. Just saying.
I'm sorry, mate. I meant the FA Cup. Sorry.
It's 2 quarterfinals he's in, isn't it? That's it. Makes your point even more valid, Jez. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, revolution. Sorry, I should have said I was referring to the FA Cup. That's what I meant. Because that's the only thing that Arteta's won at this football club.
Yeah.
And it was Emery that got Arsenal into that when he got the bin. So, what we saying, gentlemen, that this guy, Arteta, is revolutionised Arsenal. Yeah. What's he done? He's brought in shit players, and he's bought them. It's he's part of the gang that chose those players. So are we now got to bow down to this great manager? No. I tell you were quite right, Normski, when you said if Emery had been given $750 million, right, and he'd had the right to choose the players he wanted, I am convinced he would have won out of the last 2 seasons. He would have won a Premier League. No question about that, because he's not the sort of manager that will bottle it. Because this manager is clueless. He's got no tactical. We've all seen it, right? I said it on a live stream I did. Look at him. It was just after. It was about 70 minutes into the game, and he was looking at Airport Albert like that, and Airport Albert's going, I don't know, because he was looking at his own bench, Arteta's bench, and you could see him thinking, "Oh fucking hell, who do I bring on here then? What do I do now? Oh shit, oh fuck me, I don't know what to do." This guy is a clown. He's clueless, and unfortunately, I think we're going to be stuck with him for another season of failure. Because how can you possibly say he's a good manager when since he won the FA Cup and I hate saying it, but you know, he did pick the trophy up. We hadn't got past the 4th round.
Yeah. It's
And that's
embarrassing.
Arsenal Football Club, who've won more FA Cups than any other English team. English FA team, I mean, we've got to include Cardiff City in that. They beat Arsenal in 1927. But the fact remains, he's one of the worst. He has got one of the worst records of any Arsenal manager since 1954 in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
What we say there? This guy is a proven winner. Is he fuck? He's shit. And I did not understand how any real Arsenal fan, I mean real, everybody that's here, excluding Tony, of course, is a real Arsenal fan. Because we can see through it. It's like looking through a bloody window and saying this guy's a fucking idiot. But somehow, I don't know how, the amazing, they must have one of the PR team at Arsenal Football Club. The love fest for this idiot. This club is not the club that I was born and bred and lived to watch as a young kid and for 50 odd years. And that's people say, well, you don't go to the games anymore, Jez. No, I don't, and I won't. I will not go and spend my money on this club anymore. It's just not worth. I admire DJ, I admire you, Naunsky, and all you guys that go. Right, Aaron, you go your season tickets, and I appreciate you won't want to give that ticket up because once you've given it up, you're never going to get it back.
And it's going to a top gooner, Jez. That's the thing as well. I just can't let one of these melts sit in my seat. I can't.
And that's what'll happen, yeah.
No,
yeah, it will happen. Yeah,
I get that. I understand that fact. I get it. I really do. When I gave mine up in 2016, I really had enough because I could see what was happening. I could see what was going down the road. And when I was, in the ground, and we had Arsenal fans fighting with Arsenal fans, was it Wenger in? Was it Wenger out? Blah 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 blah. And I said to Kenny the other night, if I ever decided to go back to the Emirates, I'd get in a punch up with somebody. I know I'd be sat with some muppet giving it all the Arteta in shit, and I've got a quick temper. Short temper.
I've kind of learnt that over the last sort of year, Jez, or so. Do you know what I mean?
I'd be out the ground, mate. The stewards would have me straight out. I'll be hooked. Because I'll be giving it the large, and I'm too old for all that shit now. But the fact remains is I can't keep my mouth shut. I'd have to say something. I'd have to call somebody out and say, "You're talking bollocks, mate." And that is me, unfortunately. That is me. But hey, I admire you guys for doing it. I don't know how you bother, but I admire you for doing it. I get it. The love, you've got a love for the club, and it's cut you in half. It's got Arsenal there. But no, how can you compare these two people? How can you do it? Proven winner on the left, complete wanker on the right. So there you go. That's it.
I mean, well, that's a fantastic way to end that segment in a very, very classical Jez way. And that's why we love The Godfather, isn't it? Let's get that absolutely double right. We've got a super chat in from Jason Cart, man. Big up, you absolute legends. It's always good to see you, my friend. And obviously, thank you very much.
Jason.
Big up, Aaron. And his elite Gooner panel.
Aaron, I've got to bounce off because I've not been in long, so I've got to eat. I'm going to fade away on the screen. Don't want to be doing that. I want to get some food in. But as always, thanks for inviting me on. Actually, cooking from scratch, Jez. Not going down the takeaway route. Trying to be good in the old figure. It's not helping, but I'll try my best anyway. Gents in the panel, great to be here. You guys in this as well. And DJB, That channel is
Lovely to meet you, my friend. Lovely to meet you, friend. Up the Hammers.
Yeah, man, nice one.
Thanks, mate.
They're all in my neck of the woods, so I have to keep, you know, I have to keep it all sweet with the Hammers.
Yeah,
that's what I like to hear.
And you know the same with me,
DJB. Anytime, mate. Anytime.
Yeah, well, yeah, you get. Jez has got all my details and everything. Anytime if I'm free, I'll be happy to come along, my friend. No problem at all.
But yeah, hopefully the pain fades away next season. We've got this new guy in charge for the old director, and hopefully he sees common sense and gets rid of this manager before you know it. But keep smashing what you're doing, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Aaron,
absolute
love
pleasure.
you as always, mate. Take
you too, my friend. Thank you very much for coming on, man. Really appreciate the time.
You're
excellent,
welcome.
Man.
Take care.
And yeah, for the people obviously that haven't already subscribed to Tony Early Doors, I will put the link in to his channel right now for you, because that's what we do here, man. We support and we help each other, especially the ones that deserve it. And let me get this absolutely right. Tony does. He's a fantastic geezer with a really good West Ham channel. So go and check it out. I will carry on reading this. So I didn't want to cut it short. Jo, mate. Yeah, big up Aaron and his Elite Gooner panel. Yeah, man. Now listen, thank you very much. And of course, every single person here appreciates people like you. You know, being in the chat, writing your comments, throwing your two bob around, and of course the 199 is greatly appreciated. I'm sure Jez will absolutely love that. You know, it's fantastic, and we thank all fans like you so bloody much. Otherwise, we're just a few geezers talking absolutely shit to no one, and you know what I mean? So, and that's just a great point. Thank you very much, chat. And don't forget, yeah, well, that's it. We don't know what we're talking about, Jez, do we? Though, do you know what I mean? That's the thing. You know what I mean? You don't know Arsenal, Jez. You're only probably one of the most intelligent Arsenal fans that will ever have lived. But, you know, you ain't got a clue what you're talking about, apparently. Madness, that, isn't it? I want to check you. But yep, I will just have a little look at that. I'm just going to come to the channel come to the chat very quickly just to say hello to a few of the other people as well. Yeah, big up, Josh. How you doing, mate? Big up, gents. Have we discussed the Arsenal dating show? Yeah, and you wonder why Arsenal get bantered. Yeah, listen, trust me. If Arsenal don't win the Champions League, which they won't, and Manchester City win that FA Cup, Banter FC is well and truly back, and it's on its way there already, I think. Big up the channel, Michael Hernandez, man. That's what we're talking about. Big up to you and Vincenzo, man. He's not Italian, is he? Big up to you, my friend. And sorry if you're not, smash the likes up. Thank you very much for the watch, man. And Dr. Seymour Butts, yeah, someone watched The Simpsons, isn't it? Yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah. An Arsenal dating show, yeah, you're joking, best way to look up. Yeah, the Div show, yeah, they're all about, mate, innit? You know what I mean? Yes, sir, big up, my brother. Haven't you heard about the dating show Arsenal set up? Oh, is this an actual thing? Oh,
check, that's right, Aaron, check your Insta. I just sent it to you.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. We're gonna
and listen, and share it to the masses.
All right.
Oh, no.
Please,
all right, okay.
Please not let this be true.
No, listen.
I've come off dating.
Bro. If this is true,
be fucking guinea pig to this.
Okay.
If this is true, we've lost it, mate. We've lost it.
Please,
Cole, I'll bring you in to let everyone hear your two Bob and the Emery thing whilst I make it available to bring up on the screen in this dating thing. Cole, what's your say about the Arsenal revolution?
Simple as we've come back round full circle to where we started. We're back to the pragmatic football was disingenuous. You know, that first paragraph I read on the Amazon for that book, I just wanted to throw hands immediately. That was just disgusting. What I saw. And the fact this manager wants to continue on gaslighting, talking absolute gibberish and rubbish, you know, to us as the actual fans, to actually say that no, what we're doing is actually the right thing. Well, it clearly isn't. Your tactics are not good enough. Your in-game management is absolutely shambolic. Your player personnel is atrocious. We don't need to know about forget the Saka injury. You know, you look at the multiple injuries that we have with Tomiyasu, with Thomas Partey, Gabriel Jesus on his fourth surgery, for crying out loud. You know, let's not cover this with anything, right? And the account of the 22-23 season. What, you mean the season where we were with 9 games to go, we were 8 points clear and then we bottled it? I did say to you, Aaron, didn't I? I said, what was the best form of defense? Was attack. We were the number one team that was scoring the most goals in that season. So why? The only part of that book I would actually try and read is why did you switch to defense in those final 9 games instead of actually, continuing to play as you were? Because I've said it to multiple people. I've said if we were playing the same way going through those last few games, we probably would have just about gone and won the league. It would have been nitty gritty for the final 3 games because even the big teams do stumble to try and get through that part, but you would still, we'd still have a chance. And it just hasn't been good enough, bro. When Emery got sacked, as we said, we were 6 points off 4. That's not a million miles away at all. That's 2 games. And it's not like he got binned like March or April time. He got binned near flipping Christmas time. Half the season hadn't even been done yet. And remember what the Cronkies' main goal is usually to get us into top 4. Well, if that was the case, surely you could have turned that around in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
It just makes absolutely no sense at all. I'm just done with the gaslighting of this manager. I'm single-handedly done with him. There has to be reached a point. When Emery came in, he wasn't my first choice for him to come in when Wenger obviously got booted. My first choice was Allegri. I wanted Allegri or I wanted Simone coming in. I thought, you've took it as far as you can, but this squad is still good enough to win stuff. So let's get a proper proven manager in. We got Unai Emery in. Okay, fine. It is what it is. But he's got a very good European track record. And that's kind of what led us to him. And when he got sacked, I was disappointed. But when we saw who he brought in, I was like, we're bringing in a novice to a big club. Yeah. And all he's done is give Pep Guardiola his coffee and hold out his clipboard and put out the parking cones. Yeah, sorry. And when that happened, mate, I was like, because obviously, Aaron, you and me are both NFL fans. I'm a Pats fan. You're a Niners fan, right? When our greatest head coach of all time got fired, right? We brought in another novice. And the first thing I said on Twitter was, oh, shit, here we go again.
Yep. Lightning striking twice.
Lightning striking twice in 2 different sports. Yeah.
Do you know what? That's why, sorry to just quickly cut. That's why I'm very, very, very glad that Arsenal signed Berta. And because you just sit there and you just think the best thing about signing Berta, not was just the fact that he's got a CV, but the fact that Saka or Rosicky weren't given that bloody job. Because we could all see that from a bloody million miles off. We wouldn't all be surprised, would we, if they were just like, Saka stepping up. And you sit there and just think, again, a quote that DJB uses quite frequently, it's the blind leading the blind, isn't it? But, well, it is, isn't it? At least we've got to put that Berta in. But just before I will bring Macy in next, because he sort of jumped on, and then I'll jump in with Lawrence as well. I listened and I put it up. So this is a screenshot that I got from our good friend Normski about the Arsenal dating stuff. I haven't read it yet. I have not read it yet. So let's read it together. If I can make this image. Let's have a little look here. What crap have we got going on here? Right. Match days at the Emirates Stadium are a time to connect. Time to connect with the beautiful game. I don't know what beautiful game that you lot are watching, but I tell you what, it ain't often happening at the fucking Emirates. I can tell you that. It's for this reason that we are launching a new dating show. Oh my fucking God. I'm reading this for the first time too. That celebrates how a shared love of football can prove a catalyst. Do you remember even Gazidis, the catalyst for change? It will provide us a catalyst for an even deeper romance. Holy shit.
Is this not an April Fool's?
I mean, we're still 3 or 4 days away, but this looks like official Arsenal crap. Like,
anybody can AI it and make it into looking.
I mean, I don't know where our Norm's got it from, but I mean, there's a lot of people talking about it. I hope
we hope it's a hoax. I hope it's
a hoax. We're calling on our single support.
But Aaron,
on.
If it sells just like the merch, mate, I wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal don't get subscribers for this and start smashing this out in the old merchandise shop, mate. I tell you, because they're very, very good at selling stuff. That's
you
the
think
thing.
It'd be like a speed dating thing, but this team's so fucking slow. Do you know what I mean? It probably replicate that like slow dating. Do you know what I mean? Where you just have to sit there for 45 minutes.
Can you imagine it? Can you imagine it? You just come out the worst relationship of your life and you marry into this one. God,
fuck me. Can I just say here?
Go on.
Arsenal Football Club back in the late 80s. Well, 80s from the when the firm was called the Gooners.
I know what you're going to say.
They wanted to walk away. They didn't want any involvement with the Gooners and all that, and all that, palaver. Now Arsenal like to promote the name Gooner.
Yeah,
it was the northern teams that called Arsenal the Gooners. Hence, the Herd changed the name to the Gooners.
Yeah,
right. As they said, well, we fuck you lot, take the piss out, because it was a like a piss take out the name Gunners, so they called us Gooners, right? And now Arsenal Football Club can't wait to call everybody a fucking Gooner. So what's going on here then?
Yeah,
you remember that, DJ?
Well, it's just
you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I don't want to be called a Gooner. I've never been wanting to call a Gooner. You know what I mean? It's always been a piss take, but it sticks. You know what? That's the thing with this club. If you throw enough at it, it sticks, because you've got the fan base that are just so naive to just take on board whatever they say. You know what I mean? This is how it is.
Right now, DJ, you when you're at the ground, right? Yeah. If you went up to a 18, 19-year-old kid and said, "Do you know what a Gooner is?" They wouldn't have a fucking clue.
No, exactly. Do you know what a real true Gooner is? No, exactly. They wouldn't know what. No, they wouldn't. They'd turn around and say it's a bird or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, I mean, this is crazy. But getting back, can I just go back to that Unai Emery thing, though, Aaron? When he got appointed straight away, he got appointed really when it was very, very toxic with the Arsene Wenger thing. Fans were not really, the dust hadn't really settled, really. I mean, he took over a poison chalice. So his card was marked. So whatever he'd done, it was never, ever going to be, they was never, ever going to take to him, unfortunately. But if they'd have given him another season, perhaps what this guy has, then I think he would have been brilliant for the club. I could see what he was trying to do, and I never jumped on the bandwagon of cussing him and wanting him gone and everything else. I could actually see what he was trying to achieve. And it just amazes me how the guy on the right, Arteta, can have this kind of cult following. And when you think about actually what he's done, when you break it down to what he's done, so let's break it down, okay? So he's galvanised the crowd. He's got the crowd all back in the stadium, and he's got them singing songs and North London Forever and everything else. We've got an anthem. Yeah. Oh, wow. The merchandise is being thrown out left, right, and centre. Okay. So that's another thing he's got going. He's got the armory absolutely cooking. He's got all the the stadium tours and everything else cooking. Okay, yeah, he's done that. He's revolutionised that, if you like, if you want to use the name revolution. But apart from that, if you was to actually look about what he's actually achieved in the 5 years he's been there and the money's been spent, it's really, really not a lot, is it? It's finishing runners-up and bottling a huge league that no other manager with that kind of money would have done. And I honestly believe if Unai Emery had have had that league lead in the Premiership that this guy squandered, there is no way this man would have lost it. I stick by that, and I've always, I've had many arguments with many Arsenal fans over it. He would not have lost that league. We would have won the title under this bloke.
Yeah,
100%. He would not have lost at home against West Ham. He would have not have lost at home to the team he manages now at Aston Villa. He'd have made it ugly. It might not have been pretty to watch. But at the end of the day, he would have got over the line. And he's proven it. And I've got a lot of respect for Unai Emery. So that's all I wanted to say, really. This guy will have his day, and it will come very, very soon. Trust me. It's coming. It is coming. It's just a matter of a little bit more time. You just got to be a little bit more patient. I said it'd be by next Christmas. I think he'll be gone by Christmas. I think he'll be gone by the Christmas. And some people will say he'll see the season out. I think he'll have the summer window. I think Berta coming in will not rock too many boats. I think he'll say, well, okay, then let's give him a go. Let's see what he can do. And if we are 4th, 5th, 6th come Christmas, and it doesn't look like we're going to win the league or we've bowed out of cups or whatever, I can see him being gone. I really can.
Yeah.
And then it's who comes in after that. Because the trouble is, what I'm leading on to is whoever comes in. This guy came in after Wenger, and look at what he had to deal with. Can you imagine the next manager that comes in after this guy? No one will accept him. No one's going to accept him. Because this guy has got such a cult following that no one will accept the next manager that comes in after this guy. The next manager that comes in has got to be really, really strong, really, really brave, because, following from Arteta is going to be hard, really difficult.
Yeah, no, facts, man. Yeah, this made me have a little laugh just quickly, just a very brief change of subject. Yeah, Dr. Seymour Butts, Love Island, Arsenal edition. Do you know what I mean? Hosted by Jess from She Knows Absolutely Fuck All About Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? What we doing here, man? That's funny, man. What we doing here? And I think it might have been you lot as well that said up top there, maybe, or was it Dr. Seymour again that said it's actually on the Arsenal website? I haven't checked that. I've been sort of busy doing other bits, but if it genuinely is on that Arsenal website, I mean that's just absolute basement in it. Do you know what I mean? Eros, big up to you, brother. Arteta's achieved regression. Literally, that's all it. Funny, Charles Watts' book said that's what Unai Emery done, but just funny where we are now, innit? And we ain't won anything since. Bobby, big up, brother. I mean, we've definitely gotten over the line with an 8-point lead. That's what DJB was getting at. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely 150%. Pop the balloon. Yeah, Arsenal edition. Or are we running back 90s prime? Cilla Black. Yeah, surprise, la. A bit of Cilla. And here is your host, Miss Cilla Black. Yeah, do you know what I mean? We're going back. Come on, man. I watched TV in the 90s. So sadly, I'm at least that old enough. Do you know what I mean? Big up, Prime. Do you know what I mean? Big up. How you doing, man? Boy, Dio, how you doing, brother? Just don't see Kersey Saka and Arteta, man. Yeah, listen, yes. Well, I mean, that's another one for another conversation, man. What'd you miss? Just a load of Charles Watts shit. Go back and watch it, young man. It's a very good start to the show. And yeah, Arsenal just launched a date and show. Yeah, that's it. It must be there. It is embarrassing. I did see TV sort of done it. But I want to bring in someone who's been waiting patiently. Macy. How are you doing? Whatever comes out your mouth always interests me. How are you doing? You're playing a game of tennis to yourself there, I think.
No, I'm just
patiently.
No, Aaron, I'm okay, Aaron. I'm just got this flight.
Thank you very much for coming on, my friend.
I'm ready to cook all these top gooners, these zesty cockroaches. Every single one of them deserves to get just terminated by this. So yeah, I'm ready.
Swat them, my friend.
Yeah,
verbally swat them.
Yeah, Charles Watts for me, like, why did he have the guts to argue with you, Aaron, when you asked him that basic question, and he didn't even like answer you back like a man, because he's a coward. Because every time somebody says to him like, do you still think, like, I still think Arteta hasn't achieved nothing with the players he has, and the fact that Odegaard misses Saka, like, I'm sorry, like, I mean, Saka doesn't even like I mean, how can Saka and Odegaard be mates when neither of them haven't done anything for something together? Like, I've never seen the bond between Saka and Odegaard, because Saka only hangs out with his family and his friends. Like, why would people say that Odegaard and Saka, like Odegaard misses Saka, when our captain has been dropping lots of stinkers this season, and the fact that like Odegaard still wants to confess like his crying to the whole world. Like, I'm just sick of this captain. By the end of next season, we need to take this captaincy off of him and give it to somebody who deserves to be the captain. If this was my choice, I would pick Declan Rice as my captain, because even though Declan Rice doesn't perform very well, but at least he gives a bit of like passion for this team, because I've seen him run forward, I've seen him pass the ball properly, something that this captain can't do, because our captain, all he does, he just skips around like from one side of one area to the other. And when things are not going right and there's no one to cross the ball to, what does he do? He just passes it back to our defense. Like, what does Odegaard actually do to bring something to this team? And the fact that every fan base in our stream, like, they're not even cussing him out. They're saying, "Oh, Odegaard, silky skills from our captain," and all this stuff. Like, it's just jarring, Aaron. I'm just basically tired of this. And tomorrow's an FA Cup match, and like Man City are gunning for that FA Cup because they really want to end their season strongly, because after all the things that they've been through this year, the title race for them looks like it might be done. They're out of the Champions League, so the only hope left for them to save their season is the FA Cup. And I think they can win the FA Cup, because like Pep is just gonna like say to himself, I've not had a good season this year, but by the end of next year, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna get some of my own. I'm gonna go out in the summer and I'm gonna get my own best players. I'm gonna get Wirtz. I'm getting Musiala, and if so, maybe Paqueta might come, because Man City, they are always gonna find a way to rebuild their team. Something we can't do, because I feel kind of bad for Bertie, because he's going to be in this predicament, because Arteta is just going to abuse him the same way he abused Edu, because whenever the fan base, like, they get like upset, they don't even cuss Arteta, they cuss the people who didn't give Arteta enough money, because they went after Edu all the time. So I can guarantee you, if Arsenal don't sign anybody, then I can guarantee you our fan base will go straight to Bertie and they'll say, "Oh, he's a Ponza. Why is he our sporting director? He never gave Arteta the proper signing." Bro, like, what can Berta do? Because Berta is new to this whole thing, and this is going to be hard for him. And you can't like abuse him for all the crap that he's doing. You need to like give him time, because Arteta is the one that is not like giving Berta the chance to go out of any country and sign a proper player, because Arteta will always, because all these fan base zesty mobs are still gonna fancy super duper Mickey Arteta. Maybe he should run the clubhouse and say, "Hey everybody, it's me, super duper Mickey Arteta."
Oh,
He's top rating it.
Always a pleasure. But listen, an absolute superstar of the panel.
I have to say there, Macy, I actually totally disagree with that. Berta is a totally different character. Because if you look at Edu, his track record of what he did in football management or recruitment, the first club he came to actually have to recruit by was Arsenal. He worked for the Brazilian FA. He then went to a pretty low standard club in Brazil. He then went, was it the Iranian FA? Then he came to Arsenal.
I think he went to
Berta's a totally different character. He's worked in clubs. He's got a wealth of experience. He ain't going to take no mugs. That is for sure. And I think he's got an agenda. I honestly think if you look back at what's happened in January, right, I honestly do believe the Cronkies, Josh in particular, is looking at this thinking, I want to know what's going on here. If you want a yes man, if you wanted just a pure yes man, why didn't you recruit within the club? There's enough of them there.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, like,
just quickly before you respond there, matey, 1 second. Now, DGB does have to leave.
Guys.
And just before you do, guys, I will be posting in the link. I believe maybe for the first time.
Well, yeah, no, I think I've sent you the wrong link, Aaron. So don't get too excited yet. But what I will do,
I want to be the first. I want to be the first to subscribe.
Don't worry, gets it round now. Do
you not want me to post it, DJB?
I've got something going out. It's the Arsenal Hive on the 12th. It's just chatting about the Real Madrid, and any fans that want to come in from across the board can have a little chat about football in general. But it is about the Real Madrid, where we're going to go in the second leg, and vice versa. So I'll give it a go, see how it goes. That's all I can do, guys. As I said.
I've got at DJB34.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think I might have sent you one accidentally, but I'll.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. I will not post that then.
All right, mate.
Yeah. And I'll unsubscribe to that person now.
Everyone on this panel, big up. Subscribe and smash the likes to this man. I respect everyone on here, and I respect all the listeners. Every show I go on. It's not easy all what you do, so 100% guys, and stay safe, look after yourself, and don't let Arsenal grind you down too much, guys. Don't let Arsenal grind you down.
We'll try.
I know.
Listen, thank you as always, man, for giving your time up.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith. We will succeed, guys. Catch you all later, yeah? There you go, guys. Thank you very much, Aaron. Yeah, legend, guys. Thank you.
Take it easy, my friend. And I'll message her if you're still listening or whatever. I'll give you a call in a little bit. I'll get a bit of time, my friend. And obviously, of course, it's always a pleasure for everyone on the panel, the chat, and of course myself to have DJB talk, just like it is for everyone. But people giving up their time, especially with him such short notice. Absolutely fantastic. Lawrence, man, how you doing? You've been waiting there very patiently. I needed to get you in. I know, Mason, you wanted to come back with Jez there for something, but I do have to. People have been waiting for a little bit.
As I said, 100%, Jez. I agree with you. I mean, like it is hard because, like, Bertie, for me, like, he is a well-decorated sports director. I mean, what he did at Atletico was amazing, buying all these incredible players there. But the fact is, he's walking into this team with a bunch of useless players that we've got, and it's going to be hard for him because how is he, like, it is hard because now he's going to be working with Arteta, and the fact of the matter is that he has to try and sort out all the mess that is going on at our football club, like get rid of some of the players that I believe that don't want to be here, the likes of Tierney, Tomiyasu, Partey might be going because apparently this manager is looking to run his contract down. Jorginho could be going because, like, another one that this manager wants to run a contract down.
That's why he's coming in, though, isn't it, Macy?
100%.
Berta is going to come in and say, no. Look at the loss of money that's gone out the door for nothing. This guy's no fool. Right, he's been in this position at Atleti for 9 years. Right, he's worked in Italy before that. This guy is a seasoned professional, and I honestly believe he's coming in here to sort the shit out. And he ain't going to listen to Arteta.
Yeah,
he ain't going to be a yes man. He's going to say, "You fucked up, mate." And
now
we've got to sort the shit out. Now we've got to sort it out, and now you listen to me. Because at the end of the day, I'm the technical director. I make the decisions. And you have cost this club, right, shed loads of hundreds of millions of pounds, and we're not having it no more.
Yeah, I hope he stands up to Arteta because he ain't gonna fall for Arteta's punch. Yeah, he has to because Edu was afraid to stand up to Arteta because every time Arteta says to him, Edu, get me that player, and then Edu says, yes, sir, I'll do it right now, sir. Bertie should just say to him, why don't you shut the fuck up and let me do my job properly? You can't tell me what to do because I'm the sporting director and this and I will handle business my way. You can't tell me nothing. This is what Bertie should say to this manager because this is like, I'm happy we've got him in our football club, and I hope and I want Bertie to be a man and stand up to this piece of shit in Arteta.
Yeah. Now, facts. Just quickly before we move on, Shane does need to go. Shane, again, it's copy and paste of what I say to everyone, man. Thank you very much for giving up your time, man. It's fantastic to have your opinions always on the show, and I'm sure everyone in the chat that loves listening to it as well. It's validation just for the fact that we all love listening to it, mate. Where can we find you, bruv? And your link is boom.
I don't know where you're going to find me now. I think I'm going to have to take the Gooner out of my name after listening to everybody bashing being called a Gooner. But no, I'm only joking. Yeah, over at Shane Gooner, I've been putting up those videos about the 50s and 60s in football, and you know how different it was, and be shorts and stuff like that. And I'll be with you then for the pre-Fulham match, isn't it?
You will.
So
be.
yeah,
I'm looking very much forward to that.
Yeah, so I have that, and I'll be doing a few other lives hopefully in between, and yeah, basically that's it. And cheers for having me on, and cheers to all the panel. Pleasure as always.
Yeah, it is a pleasure, man. Absolute pleasure as always, Shane. Man, you've given me a lot of time, especially recently. Do you know what I mean? It's great. It's always an absolute pleasure. And when you want to do your first live, like I said, if I can make it, I'll text you earlier. I'm
working around you, Aaron.
If you want me, of course.
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Yeah. Fantastic.
See you later, boys.
No worries. I'll always be there to try and help, man.
Take
it easy, Shane.
Good luck.
Big up, man. Yeah, everyone, if you want to go and subscribe to a bit of Shane and what he's doing over there, man, you've listened to him. He talks absolute sense, and I've just put his link in the chat. So make sure you go over there and give him a follow. People, it always massively helps. And just as well, I'll be putting all the links again in the chat in a second. Like and sub on this stream, regardless of whether you're watching it on there. Like and sub across all the channels. And at some stage, very soon, I will also be putting all the guys' links in the description as well. So make sure you give everyone, not just me, not just the guys that die, and make sure you give everyone a follow, because it makes such a big difference to all of us. We give up a lot of time, and we try and just give everyone the best content that we can give you. So yeah, all them likes or them subs, they are phenomenally appreciated. Lawrence, how you doing, my friend? You've been waiting there patiently. You know, there's a few people on the Friday thing, so you know, apologies. But what's your take on everything? You know, I don't know whether you've been listening from the start, whether you just jumped in for a little bit. Say what's on your mind, brother.
35, 36, 37, 38, 39. 40. Oh, hi, lads. Hello. I've just had the weirdest dream. I was on Love Island, and everyone was a gooner. You know, there was me, Normski, Aaron, and Kyle.
You can leave me out of that shit.
I'll tell you, the standards at this club have dropped so much over the last 15, 20 years. It's just unbelievable. The way this club is run, it's an embarrassment to be an Arsenal fan at the moment. You know, Herbert Chapman, I keep saying this, Herbert Chapman must be turning in his fucking grave at what's going on there down at that club. I mean, a dating show. I mean, come on. Are we a football club, or are we just a sideshow?
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to start off with Berta, but when I heard the news just now that we're venturing into dating, I mean, this just sums up this club in a nutshell. I mean, really. I mean, I'm embarrassed to call myself a gooner.
Yeah.
You know, I'm following a club that's venturing into the dating business. You know, I mean, I keep saying this. I said, this. You couldn't get this in a Carry On movie. I sometimes think I'm going to go to the Emirates and Sid James is going to come out, the director's box. You know, it's just beyond a joke. I mean, like everyone else, I thought it was an early April Fool's Day joke. But it's just typical that the way of this club is being run at the moment. And on the matter of the Berta, I seriously think the reason why he hasn't signed up yet is he's doing his due diligence, and I think he's getting cold feet. He's done his research at how this club is being run, and I think he doesn't want any part of it. Because, you know, I mean, the way that this club is being organised by Arteta and the Cronkies, you know, I seriously think he's going to tell them to go do one. I mean, it's just nonsense.
Yeah, mate.
That's worrying. That's worrying.
Yeah, I'm sorry, no,
sorry, that's worrying. If that's the case.
I mean, like 4 weeks ago, all the media outlets saying, "Oh, he's going to be signing for us." 3 weeks ago, we're almost in April, and he hasn't started the job yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've read reports. I think that is it. Like then, this was earlier. That's going to be announced within a few hours. I haven't.
That's
seen
what
any
that's what I've heard.
announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, Noms. You was going to say.
No, I was just saying. I mean, you know,
then I'll bring Rashid in.
When Lawrence comes out with things like that, it is worrying because, man, I think right now he's our only hope. People, he's our only hope, and bro, I hope Lawrence. I hope you're wrong because we need Burton.
I mean, so do I. Because I think if he does join us, I think Arteta is walking a tightrope. Because he takes one step out of line, guess what? He's going to be on the phone to his mate Simeone and bringing him over. Because he won't take this shit. But as I said, why is it taking so long for him to start this job? I don't, you know.
You know what? Arsenal are like this. They're notorious for it. So I would be. Yeah.
With transfers. Oh, we're going to buy this player. It goes quiet. A month later,
bang,
he's there. And I think these things are done behind the curtains, if you want to call it that. Yeah. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he's already signed and he's just doing.
I think it's a drama. It's a drama. They like a drama.
Yeah. Arsenal Arsenal like to give it the big one. They like to make it into something more than it is. I mean, he was last week. Apparently, he was at London Colney, right? He was there. Apparently, how truthful that is, I've got no facts to back it up. But it wouldn't surprise me if the deal's already done, and they're just holding on and waiting to announce him right towards the end of the season, right when we've knocked out of the Champions League.
You took the words out of my mouth. I've got a theory on that. Like when it goes on Pete Tong against Real Madrid. That's when they go, right, let's announce it, yeah? Appease the fans.
And another line of merch.
Something has to go wrong for them to announce something.
I've had Arsenal fans text me after what happened with the women's team against Real Madrid, and because of this so-called investigation of 4 Real Madrid players possibly getting banned, that we're going to wipe the floor with them.
Yeah.
I mean, are you fucking serious?
Well, what we're doing here, Lawrence, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, I mean,
ladies' team. I think that was the ladies' team. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I know, but there's this story going around that there's a possibility of 4 Real Madrid players getting banned from playing against us because of the gestures they did in the last round against Atletico Madrid. Yeah. Don't these people realise that it took the authorities the whole of this month to decide what's going to happen to Manchester City? And we still don't know what's going to happen to Manchester City. We were told there was going to be a decision made this month. We're now almost in April, and no verdict has come down on that. And these muppets in our fan base who think we're called Arteta FC think that UEFA are going to slap a ban on them inside a week.
But that's where they're hoping. That's why they're hoping. Yeah. I'll tell you this now, people. We are trapped. They are trapped. And unfortunately, this is where they are. This is where they are. They're here. That's where they are. Yeah, that's where they are, mate. This is where they are. Yeah. That's where they are, mate. Behind me. Look behind me. Yeah, it's the Matrix. Yeah, they're plugged in. That's the official knows this, man. Yeah, we've been looking at this hard, man.
Best believe that.
Yeah.
Best
We
believe that.
just hope that with
believe.
Arteta, everything that has a beginning has an end. You know what I mean? He needs to get out, son. Rashid, man, you've been waiting as well. Thank you very much for jumping on, my brother.
Listen, man, it's embarrassing. Big up to
Go on,
everyone. Thanks for having me on. Big up to everyone, the panel, chat, everyone. It's embarrassing, bro. First of all, we had a modeling agency to push out the merch. Now, a dating show. Like, what is this? Like, are you serious? Why can't we use that money
Down.
for a team, for a proper team? Go get me a proper manager instead of keeping this manager. Now, by the way, we're building a RICO. We're building a RICO case against this manager. At the end of the season, everybody's going to come out with the facts, and it's going to take at least 1 or 2 years, and this manager's gone. But that's not where our problems stop. This Arsenal, this club, is a shambles, bro. How could you be putting out a reality show? It's all about money. Like, this is the thing. They lied to us. They lied and lied and lied. And this makes me go back to think, why did they give a 15 million contract to Arteta? What were the goals? Was the goal to be top 4? Was the goal top 4? If it is, then come out and say it.
Yeah.
Come out and address it to the fans and say, listen, the goal was top 4. He got top 4. We're gonna give him 15 million. We're gonna make him the second highest paid manager in the world. Embarrassing, bro. But going back to the comparison between Emery and Arteta, I don't know what Arteta, apart from league finish, I don't know what he brought to this team. We've regressed in everything. We've gone back. We had the same team. Like we've done defenders, goalkeepers, and midfielders of Emery. Well, not Emery, the team that Arteta inherited, and this team. Is there any difference? There is no difference. Like, what are these guys talking about? Like, I just can't see it. I want to see it, but I can't. And just what they come out with today. And I saw it on AFTV. I think AFTV put it out first, I think. And they were talking about it. And the dating show was a shambles, bro. I don't know who gave him the idea, but it's all about money. That's to tell you, it's all about money. They want to put more seats in there for you know who. We don't want to get into that. More seats, more merch, and now a dating show. Inverted romance, bro. Absolute jokes, bro. Absolute jokes. But yeah.
Yeah.
This is where we are.
We have a TV show out here called The People's Court. I don't know if you get it over there. And the woman who's the judge, she's got a famous quote that sums Arteta up in a nutshell. When someone is lying to her, she tells them, I wouldn't believe you even if your tongue came notified. And every time Arteta opens his mouth, I don't believe one fucking thing he says. And that quote sums Arteta up in a nutshell. Even if his mouth came notified, I wouldn't fucking believe him.
No.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, in my point, I think Arteta has just absolutely made himself look like a fool when he said that. And there's no point. It's over now. I mean, this manager has absolutely finished himself off. And AFTV said that Saka should be back and we should give him a couple of minutes against Fulham. Like why? Why should we play him against Fulham? Because we've got a big Champions League game coming up against Real Madrid. So what makes AFTV think that they should give Saka a couple of minutes against Fulham when he's not ready yet? I mean, AFTV are a bunch of zesty people led by one man, and his name is Robbie Lyle. And I cannot stand that geezer. I can't stand the fact of his smirky smile and his bald-headed thing. Like, I'm sick of this guy, and I'm sick of all of his zesty muppets. I don't want
He kicked my mate Claude, may he rest in peace. I don't know if any of you remember Claude, who was on AFTV. He kicked my mate Claude to the curb, while that muppet Julian, who the other day insulted Saeed. The other day, right?
Palestinian bad.
I remember. I remember.
He kicked my mate Claude to the curb for what he said a few years ago, which is nothing compared to what that muppet Julian said to Saeed.
Facts.
Yeah, I still have Julian for what he said to Saeed. I will never forgive him because Julian is not a man. He's just one of Robbie's puppets. Like every time Robbie says to him, "Yo, Julian, say something," and then Julian will say, "Oh, okay, sir, I'll say that for you." Like, I'm sick of all of these AFTV muppets that want to obey Robbie's command. Like, he's their chief. Like, he will ask them something and he will say to them, "Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. I'll do that for you, sir." Like, this just
the reason Julian is on that channel, I'll tell you, the reason that Julian is on that channel is because he's loaded. He's got money and he palms that off to Robbie.
He can get in deals.
Right, that's why he's on that channel. Because he didn't have that money, he wouldn't be on that channel at all.
Yeah, mate. The whole thing is just by the fans, for the fans, I think, apparently, wasn't it? And it's now just so clearly
it's not
for Robbie,
like
for the
that,
pocket.
Yeah, it's gone so far away from that for years.
Yeah.
Years, bro. Years. But yeah, big up, Aaron. Big up to the rest of the panel. Like, thanks for having me on. You know, lateness is greatness and all of that. But yeah, you know, had my afternoon kip and I fucking needed it, mate. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, like, this is the first time me hearing like this whole dating show bollocks. But at the same time, am I really surprised? No, because Arsenal's a circus. We know we know what it is, mate. We know exactly what it is. You know, like the whole Berta thing being delayed is typical Arsenal. The 115 charge is delayed. You know, that's typical, you know, Premier League, you know, British, English fucking media, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's a joke, but, you know, 2025 year, the demise, as Guns would say, it's going to happen, bro. It's going to happen. I think Berta is just sitting in the wings, just chilling and watching this all unfold. That's what I think he's doing. I'm not pressing the panic button just yet because I agree with Normski. You said something very precise and clear, brother. He is our last hope. 100% he's our last hope. On and off the pitch, he is our last hope. But for me, yeah, I'll also bring up this point that Matty said. I think it was on Lee Gunner's last emergency stream. I believe he was saying something along the lines of that Berta's being brought in to get rid of Arteta. Now, if that's the case, then I can't wait. And especially, you know, from what I'm hearing now, we need that more than ever. You know, how long will it take? Probably a year at most, I think. But we'll just have to see, man. We'll just have to see. But yeah, like it's yeah, like we know how this club operates. We know how, you know, that Morphin Maltese or Robbie Lyle. We know what he's on. You know, we know what Julian's on. We know what, you know, Cecil's on.
The thing is, we don't know what Julian's on. He's on some next level fucking.
Oh, I know what he's on. I know he's on some bullshit. I know he's on some bullshit.
Not right, man.
Yeah, I know he's on some bullshit. That's what I know, mate. So
was it him?
Aaron,
to interrupt you just quickly, then. So was it Julian, Jez, that you've said to me before? Was it him that you called out about having a ticket or something for the Anfield '89? The geezer's full of shit.
Well, look, he was on a show and I was watching it and he came out with this classic statement, right? He said, and I quote, I'll tell you what show it was on. It was on the young lady So Schooner Gathering show. The young blonde-haired lady, right? And she asked him about the '89 game. And he said, well, yeah, I was doing my A levels and I left an exam to make sure I walked out of the exam to get to Highbury so that I could get one of the coaches up to Anfield. So I said in the chat, I said to him, well, you're lying, because if you remember at the time in '89, A levels started in June. O levels were in May. A levels were in June. And I said, by the way, how the hell did you get a ticket for that when you didn't have a season ticket? Because back in the day, Julian, you had to collect your tokens out of your programs as a season ticket holder to get your token points to get away tickets. And I said, I know personally at least 30 people who had season tickets as long as me, or if not even longer, right, couldn't get a ticket for that game because they hadn't got the tokens. And they still went in the hope of getting a tout ticket. Some of them may have got in, some may have not. I don't know. But I called him out and he never, ever answered me once because he knew I knew. Right. And I've had this with so many YouTubers. There's that other silly bitch that made out that she went to the
Does the name begin with a J? Or
this is I can't think of her name now. I think her name's Sophs as well.
Is it Highbury Squad?
Yeah.
She's to come on. No, it's not that one. Not that one. She's to come and do. She's to do a show with her, I think.
Yeah, it's not her. And she said, classic. I couldn't believe this one when she said, yes, when I was at Anfield, I got given flowers. And I said to her on her chat, I said, why did you get given flowers? And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, the Arsenal team came out with 11 bouquets of flowers and gave them to Liverpool fan ladies in the crowd at the Cop End, right, in the East and West. Where were you? I said, where were you in the ground then to get some flowers? Where were you? Well, I was seated. I said, well, that's fucking interesting. Because if you're an Arsenal fan, you would have been in the Anfield Road end quadrant, and it was all terracing back then, if you remember, because it was like, Hillsborough had happened and all that. It was still terracing. So, and I said, well, so where in the ground were you then? I can't remember. So one of the most iconic Arsenal games you ever go to in your life, and you can't remember where you were in the ground. I said, how come you got seat tickets then? So you weren't in the Arsenal part, you were actually in the Liverpool part then. There was no seating for Arsenal fans. Because if back in them days, right, the Cop and the Anfield Road end were all terrace. So I said, so where were you seated? Oh, I can't remember. I thought, you're bullshitting me. I can prove I was there. I've got my program. I've got my ticket. Go on, mate.
Jez, whoever threw the bouquet at him must have had a hell of a throw if he was in the seats, because I was at that game. And the first few rows of the main stand was terracing as well. So whoever threw that bouquet at him must have had a hell of a throw.
Well, you know yourself. You know yourself what happened at that game when the Arsenal came out the tunnel. They had the big bunch of flowers, and Alan Smith and Rocky and that lot went down to the Mickey Thomas went down to the Cop, and they gave a bunch of flowers to the ladies in the front rows of the terracing at the Cop, and the other team, the rest of them, John Lukic, went over to the East and West, and they didn't fucking give them to any Arsenal fans. Oh, that was the point. Oh, no. I've forgotten something.
Just quickly, Jez, can I just get Normski out just quickly? Hold that thought. Normski's in a rush. He needs to shoot. Normski, thank you very much, my friend. Absolute pleasure as always to have you on, man. Thank you so much for giving me your time. I've just posted your link again in the chat. We can find you at Normski TV. What you got coming up?
Wednesday live show. It goes rival fans, but friends. But we talk about all things the Premier League, and obviously we'll be looking at Champions League coming up. Hopefully Rashid will be doing the match reaction and all of that stuff. So yeah, but I need to step my work rate up because I'm looking at Rashid, I'm looking at Aaron. They're producing, man. They're producing. So I've got some things in the pipeline, but I don't want to kind of rush it. I need to think it all over. So, guys, look out for some pre-recorded stuff, a little more pre-recorded stuff. And one thing I might want to do though, and that may be to critique the old Charles Watts book. And we might have a show looking at that. And I think, Aaron, I think we need to look not page by page because you know what I mean. We need to look at some things there and call it out for what it is.
If you want me to jump on it and definitely. I will be a very good boy.
Thank you very much, my friends. But big up to Jez, big up to Gunner Down, big up to Macy, big up to Lawrence, big up to Rashid, big up to Nasta, big up to Jez, the Godfather, big up to Aaron. Please hit the like button, subscribe and share if you're new people. I'm out of here. Take care.
Yeah. Stay clear of them sentinels. Stay clear of the agents.
I will do, people. But right, bless up.
Take it easy, man. Sorry to interrupt you there, Jezza.
No, you're right, man. No.
I was getting. He was waiting there to jump out.
As we went through that conversation on that channel, right, to finish it off, when I said to you can't remember where you were sat in Anfield at the most iconic game you've probably ever witnessed at Anfield Football Stadium as an Arsenal fan, and you got a bouquet of flowers. And they were big bouquets of flowers. You know what I'm saying? They weren't like £5 worth.
Yeah, they were fucking massive. I can see from the documentary in my head. Obviously, I weren't bloody there, but they were all running out, dispersing across, weren't they?
Her parting comment was this. Her parting comment was, no, I got given them outside the ground. I said, you are lying out of your fucking arsehole. Why would you get flowers outside the ground? And a comment to me was, well, you obviously weren't there. You don't know. I said, I was there.
Oh, wow. I've seen your stamped tickets, Jez.
I said,
offline and online.
I said, hang on a second. Give me 2 minutes. I went and got my program. I said, there you go. There's my program and there's my fucking ticket. Where's yours? You know what happened after that? I got blocked. I got blocked straight away. No.
Yeah, that's madness. This is sort of what I'm saying. It's frustrating because they all give it the Barry McGuigan, didn't they? All like that when they think they've got a little point, but the second they get called out and then the second they realise, oh yeah, shit, I've been done over here. Yeah, it's you just get blocked. That's it. And then you get told you weren't there, you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, it's pathetic, isn't it? It's just absolutely pathetic what's going on here. I'm just going to come to the chat very quickly just to say hello to the people that are here. Yeah, big up, Dow. How you doing, my friend? I will be joining you in very, very shortly-ish. I'm looking forward to talking to TJ and Dow. Over there. They've got a show on at 10 o'clock. I will get that. I'll get that link in there very soon, Dow. Before I shut off, I'll jump that in there. I'm very much looking forward to that. But big up to you, my friend. Dio as well, man. We're finished. Double finished, bruv. Luca, big up, brother, man. How you doing? Hopefully your week hasn't been too bad, but we're Friday now, so we've got a couple of days off. Unless you're one of them shift guys, then it's kind of sucky. London Coney alleyway produced methamphetamines. What Julian Tyne? Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're definitely not on oxygen and fucking aqua. I can tell you that. There's got to be something else. Yeah, don't show. Yeah, it's absolute fucking bonkers, mate. Yeah, big up as well, Static, man. I know you've shot off already, but big up, my friend. Was it that Princess Guna Sophie? Is that the specific name? Because I know there are a couple of Sophies. Not a lot. There's a Sophie from Guna Gossip. She's a lovely, sweet girl. She's cool, but it must have been a different one. I don't know if that's Sophie from Ivory Squad or maybe someone else or something. I don't know. Yeah, met Claude at Stamford Bridge. I unfortunately never had the pleasure and privilege of meeting Claude, but from what I've seen, I probably would have got on very well with the man, and obviously, of course, rest in peace to him. Prime, big up, man. Yeah, bless up Norms. Yeah, he's a geezer. I've got a lot of time for Normski. Michael, how you doing? Shout out to one of the realest channels. Well, thank you very much. That's what we're all here. Every single channel here. That the guys that have a channel. That's what we're all talking. We're all talking real stuff, all the way from Virginia, US. Man, thank you very much for tuning in to our channels. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's all about, man. From America as well. You guys don't get the credit, and you know, there's one of the gentlemen in here, Dow, that don't get the credit. You guys get up at silly o'clock to follow a very frustrating team in Arsenal. And you guys don't get the credit for all the effort that you put in. Shout out Virginia, and shout out Oregon, shout out LA, Lawrence.
Aaron, I've got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning at the weekend to watch Arsenal. You've got to see my eyes, mate. You've got to see the state of my eyes. Totally fucked up my social life.
Yeah, mate, I'm not surprised. And do you know what the worrying thing is as well? Is it's all in vain, because you get to watch us either stumble over the line, you get to watch us draw, or you get to watch us fucking lose. It's never pretty. Do you know what I mean? I can sit there and I'm thinking, like, yeah, the Man City game was fantastic, but what did we do the next day? We was all brought back down to earth because we realised we weren't signing anyone on deadline day, and then dropped points in our next game. Do you know what I mean? And then we were saying with Nottingham Forest, the 3-0 first half, that's fantastic. Snorefest second half, nothing again the next game. West Ham, oh, that was a fantastic first half. Shit second half, no one scored any goals, or the goals in the first half. But how did the next game go? Snorefest. Almost like there's a repeated pattern of Arsenal are absolutely shit. And, mate, that's it. Like, that's why I was saying to Dow and the boys. Big up for you guys, man. It's easy for me to watch it at 3 o'clock or 12 o'clock in the comfort of my own home, or go and, you know, and drive an hour and a little bit to go to the Emirates and go and watch it. It's very easy. But you guys, it disturbs your whole entire schedule, man. And that's why it's big up to all the American fans. And, of course, it's not just the American fans. It's anyone who lives in a different continent with different time zones, etc., man, that has to, you know, go and watch Arsenal out of hours as such, man. Big up to all of you, man. What I do want to do is bring in Carl, because I haven't spoke to you in a little bit. You know, we want to keep everyone sort of fresh. I'm trying to get everyone's time sort of in there. I don't know if you made a comment about the Arsenal Love Island app. I just want to come back to that very quickly, because I'm reading some more bits here online, man. I think shit's actually true, Carl.
I'm on scrolling through X right now, and the more I'm seeing it, the more I feel like it is actually true.
Yeah. I knew you'd be having a little look.
I'll post the chat right. I'll post the chat right now. If I can get on that, get the link on. Do I just set up a fucking fake account just to actually see where it's going to take me? Or I'd rather not. But you know, you get where I'm coming from, because it's the club's in shambles as it already is. But seeing what I've just seen, that's next level embarrassment. I mean, I don't know what we're trying to do here. It is all about money. It's making a mockery of us. We play freaking Real Madrid in what's your Friday? We're in what 11 days time? 11 days time? Play Real Madrid?
Yeah. I think what's it on the on the 4th?
On the 8th of April.
8th of April, 2 days after my birthday. Yeah. So whoop-de-doo. We're just being made to look like an absolute flipping laughing stock with this. The field day that rival fans are going to have on us regarding of this, it's going to be next level embarrassing.
Yeah.
But yeah, all these top fans, you know, all they do is just soak it up, and they just say, yeah, it's all cool. You know, there's a few people that I follow on X who I'm very, very well, who I talk to a fair bit at the time. Even they said this is an absolute joke. 2 of them are female, and they said even this is a joke. So I basically said, you wouldn't go to this desperation level? She said, no, I'll go back on plenty of fish, thanks.
Yeah, well, you not lobbed a comment in earlier, and it made me have a little giggle, man. It reminded me, do you remember that show, Take Me Out, with Paddy McGuinness? No like it, no light it. Yeah. And you get the two little top gooners being matched up. They're off to the Isle of Fernando.
Fernando. Yeah.
Absolute quality, man. Absolute quality.
But no,
Jesus Christ, man.
It's just embarrassing. Just so embarrassing now. The times where I used to watch Arsenal as a kid, that was when I felt like, this club is much more like it, much more like it. And as you get older, you slowly see through all the bullshit. You slowly see through all the bullshit as you get older and older. But when you get older, you also become more wise. You have more wisdom about you. And it only took me, as I said, it took me about 4 years before I realized, this guy ain't gonna do anything, and this club has become a Ponzi scheme. It's become a shadow of what it once used to be. I mean, me and Jez had a very good conversation with me when he was on my channel a while back now, and I asked him the question of what would have, if we hadn't moved from Highbury, what would say a 55 or 60,000 seat stadium would have looked like at Highbury. And Jez went into detail for about, I think it was a good 5-6 minutes or so. I will get it clipped up and I'll get it on my channel so everyone can actually see it, and of how it would be and so on. I know obviously the North Bank have to stay as it is because it was backed onto the tube station and so on. That would have been amazing. A 60,000 seat at Highbury. Yeah. That would have been awesome. With the similar fans that we originally had, that would be crazy. That would be a crazy stadium. But unfortunately, that is all now a what if scenario. We're stuck with this,
mate. One thing I can tell you is the stadium now, man. It's just full of so and so's, man. It's madness. Like maybe it's obviously a generation thing as well, but because I think. I'm sorry if I offend anyone in the chat if you are one, and I'm sure you're cool if you're in this chat because you've made a decision to watch us, so you must have something about you. But what I will say is this generation, by and large, are absolute ridiculous, man. It's surely like we've got someone like Jez who's from a different generation, and Lawrence who's from that different generation, and then I'm a couple of steps below, and we've got a couple of people in there younger than me. What I will sort of say is all of our generations are laughing at this generation. And unfortunately, this club, i.e. Arteta, Kroenke, the PR team, I mean, the world-class PR team, you might as well say that, Charles Watts, they are elite. I mean, you've got to give them that at least credit. They have absolutely cashed in on the fact that this is the most weak-minded, saddest, pathetic, crappiest generation of fans, of people, not even just fans, but especially Arsenal fans. They've just cornered the market where they've got all these stupid morons, gullible spastics, sorry to say that word, but they are, and cornered them into a little boat where they can just go, this is what we're going to do. We're going to give you a cheap little song where you can sing North London Forever. You've got this. And then while you're all in there, we've got loads of merch for you to get. We're going to up all the prices. I haven't done it yet, and I will do it when I go to Arsenal v Real Madrid, people, I am going to go, next time I go to the thing, I'm going to take a picture of all the prices of the bar next to me. And there's loads of, the bars differs. The prices, I don't think, in the beers do differ when I've walked around and met up with Potsy, Kenny, and all of them boys in different sort of areas. I think all the beers and all that prices are the same, albeit they sell some different bits. I want to take a little picture just to show everyone, because people listen with their eyes a lot better than they do with their ears. And I just want to show people how much this club rips people off. It's absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing, man. What we're sort of doing here with these little bits, man. I will sort of come to an end in a little bit, but there's one thing I did want to talk about just briefly before, and I only want to briefly touch on it, and I'll go around clockwise before we come out, because there's been a thing, and I don't want to overdo it. That's why I don't want to spend too much time on it. But Jez, I've this Saka thing, right? Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on it. We've all had our two bob about it. I was on with Lee and Hooks, and I've also had a couple of altercations with the same actual channel as Carl had with that Fam Zone TV. and I remember having a little chat with them, and they seem to think that they want to rush, they want to play Saka, they want to rush him back. They think that all protecting him and everything like that is the most ridiculous thing they've ever heard. And I was talking to this one lad, I don't know what his name is.
Juice D, probably.
And we was having and we was having a
The
little
Arsenal guy, yeah, it's Juice D,
thing, and messaging, and I said I sort of posted it up and hooked this thing, and I was just like, yeah, look, I think it's absolute madness that you're going to rush him back. Why would you rush him back? This is the geezer's career. We've got a duty of care. And I said a lot of things on Lee's stream the other night. He's not ready for it. The first leg is in what, 11 days? Did we just hear it?
Yep,
11 days. He's got Fulham, yeah? He's got
Mhm.
Fulham there. So that means that you're not going to give him 90 minutes in his first game back. So assuming you're going to play him and you're giving him 10, 20, 30, whatever. The next game's Everton away.
They'll kick him off the park. They'll kick him off the park.
Battle, boys. Exactly. An absolute battle. And then you've got Real Madrid a couple of days later, right? And in the home leg, which is at least a slight bit more comfort, but still not that much comforting. Are you telling me that after a grade 3 hamstring tear, whilst also bearing in mind that most of the setbacks not only are a recurring hamstring in themselves in their own entirety, but also injuring other parts of your body because they've been relaxed. They're not used to it. You're working so much up on the muscle that you've sort of injured. You know, how often do you sort of see a setback where it's like, oh yeah, they've had an ACL, but then their groin goes because they're not using it. You see these setbacks all the time, and they want to risk it for a quarter final, and they're like, oh yeah, but this is the other argument of the coin I see. Yeah, but you know, Saka's probably there, and he's like Real Madrid. The kid's 23 years old. He's got 10, 12 years left, at least at the top level. He's either going to face Real Madrid numerous times or maybe even fucking play for him. Like, what are we doing here with that? Like, that's in itself is just ridiculous. And I remember asking this one geezer, he started saying to me, no, you play him because we got elite mentality like me. And this geezer, man, I can't believe it. Yeah? He goes to me, yeah? He's like, oh, I've got elite mentality. I'm a warrior mentality. He's saying to me, I'm like, all right, warrior mentality. Cool, man. And he's like, I've got mentality like Malcolm X. I don't even really know who that is, but I looked it up, whatever. I don't say anything else on it because I don't know. He's like, I've got what's the Martin Luther King? He's like, I've got Martin Luther King mentality, fam. You get me. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy on about, man? Like, I mean, this is like borderline and retarded. I'm like, this geezer's like sitting here being a top gooner. And he's like, yeah, I've got the mentality of like all of these great black, I assumed what line he was going down is like great black figures of history. And I'm like, bruv, you ain't got that mentality. You think finishing second's great. Bruv, what happens when a warrior finishes second? Their head's rolling on the fucking floor. So what are we doing here? Like, what are we saying here? I can't quite get people like that. I can't quite understand it. And I'd love to have a conversation about the geezer because that's spastic mentality, bro. That's not winner's mentality. That's not Malcolm X mentality, bruv. That's not Martin Luther King mentality. He had a dream. He didn't have a dream to get his head fucking chopped off because a warrior finishes second, loses his nut. What are we talking about? Jez, what's your two bob on this, man? Because I'm sick to death of fucking idiots. Like, let's get it right. If he's back and he's fit and all that or whatever, right? And he plays, of course we don't want him to get a setback to prove ourselves right. Of course we don't. I hope he comes back inevitably, which he'll do. Why was that? Because Arteta rushes players back. How do we know that? Because he plays Thomas Partey, rushed him back. Jesus rushed him back. Played fucking Ben White when he needed surgery. Bryce with a broken toe. The list continues. Tomiyasu rushes him back 6 minutes. Like, we can't trust Arteta or the medical team, but these lot with Malcolm X mentality, like, do you trust them, Jez? Or what would you do? We don't have to spend loads of time on it, but what's your take on this Saka fit thing? Because it's a fucking nonsense to me, bruv. Like, what are we doing here?
I wouldn't play him, to be honest.
I'm expecting
it's nonsensical, absolutely nonsensical. People talking about playing him against Fulham, no. Playing him against Everton, no. You know, I'm sorry, this guy, I don't believe will be 100%. Well, he might be physically fit, but he ain't be match fit. big difference between fit and match fit. So he's going to have to push it in those games, and that is where you can do something else. I said last night, you know, you've got, look, your body works in a certain way. We all know our own bodies. When you've got an injury, and you're a bit cagey about that injury, you're going to put stress on another part of your body to compensate for that, sort of trying not to push it too much on that one side. So that can lead to something else happening. If you're not match fit and the pace of the Premier League game is 100 mile an hour, so you're possibly going to strain something else. So it's nonsensical. It's ridiculous. Don't bother. Let him have the rest of the season off. The reason Arteta wants him back, he's fucking desperate.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's got nobody else to cover that position, what he should be doing. I don't think Nweri works there very well, personally, if you want my honest opinion. So it's just a ball. It's his fucking fault we're short on the bench. Nobody else.
Exactly.
It's his fault. Him alone. He's the one. He didn't buy the striker in summer. He didn't buy a striker in January. And now we're paying the price. So,
and even Charles Watts admits it there. We just haven't got it up front. We don't have the top level attackers in 2000 team, unlike now. 2002 team, unlike now. Even Charles Watts admits it, Jez. There you go. Why haven't we? Yeah, that's it. We ain't got the attackers. We overplay them.
Maybe that dickhead's actually waking up. But anyway, gentlemen, I've got to go.
He's realising the steak isn't juicy and delicious, that it doesn't exist. There is no spoon, bruv.
Maybe, mate, Nasta, maybe it wasn't the revolution that he thought was going to happen.
No.
Anyway, gentlemen,
yes.
DJ.
Yes.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Be honest, it's been an awesome fucking panel.
Yeah, big up, Jez.
Aaron,
man.
Carl, Macy, Nasta.
Salute to you,
Lawrence. Unfortunately, other people have left, but it's been a great show, man. And may long it continue.
Yeah.
I'll probably pop in another watch of you on TJ's later.
Lovely.
So, big up, boys. Enjoy your weekend. Unfortunately, we aren't in the FA Cup again. Which is a disgrace, in my opinion. It is a fucking disgrace, so we can't deny it. But anyway, there we go, gents. Catch you all later, boys. Have a great weekend.
What a legend.
Yes, salute to you.
I'm supporting Preston North End only because of history. There you go.
Football heritage.
And chat. Don't forget, if history is your thing, take care, Jez. If history is your thing, look no further, because the link is in the description for all the history you want if it's Arsenal. Yeah? He does some fantastic shows. I think they're always on a Tuesday with DJB and Kenny Ken. IQ is popping out the fucking skulls, boys. Go over and follow Jez. The link is in the description. I'm going to go, obviously, to my right now with Carl, man. The same sort of things at you, because I know you've had a little brief altercation with the same sort of channel, the same sort of people that make no real sense. You know, I think they've got their own little sort of group, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? And way of thinking. And if you sort of say against it, you know what I mean? You're away like you're a fucking vampire or something.
That's what over the last 24 hours, that's what I've accustomed to actually seeing. Yeah, that you get YouTube channels like this that are in their certain pocket of. It's a bit like us in a way. We were in our certain pocket of people, but unlike them, we are more than happy. But if you want to have a disagree with us, more than welcome to come on. You're more than welcome. We'll have a debate. We'll have an argument. We'll get Aaron up to 1,000 subscribers very, very quickly if that continues to happen. So we'll just continue to that. Let me ask you a question, gentlemen. What would you rather do? Because I said this question to Juicy on X when I had the argument. What would you rather have done? Would you rather Saka play against Real Madrid, knowing for a fact that he's not match fit, and you're only going to give him 15, 20-minute cameo appearances in, say, Fulham and Everton?
Yeah.
Would you do that, or would you say, no, ice him, we'll see you in pre-season, and prolong his career for the next 10 years?
It's a no-brainer.
It's the entire
It's just
question
a
to the panel.
no-brainer.
You don't need to give me a detailed answer. It's just a simple, blunt one.
Yeah, look, listen, man, it's a no-brainer, is it? And like, this is what they're not understanding, because like they've got warrior mentality. Don't forget, do you know what I mean? So you're playing fam still. That's what you do. Like, you just playing fam still. Like, I don't know what else to say. Do you know what I mean? Like, play him fam still. No, you don't play him fam still. You get me? What you do is you got a duty of care to a player in a game where you're probably highly not going to go through anyway. And guess what happens? If he gets injured or gets a setback, you'll all just be sitting there thinking, "Oh man, we ain't got Saka for the start of the season," and that'll be their first excuse. They'll just forget that their opinion was the reason why that excuse is even there. You know what I mean? Could you imagine he gets a setback? But we didn't start. We don't win the league. Oh yeah, but Saka weren't fit for the start of the season. They'll forget that. That's why. It's fucking pathetic. Like, we're talking to fully grown men, man. Everyone's allowed their opinion. Do you know what I mean? And look, the worrying thing is they were like, yeah, but the doctors are saying that he's going to be fully 100% fit. Yeah, but he's not going to be fucking fully 100% fit.
If the doctor said walk off a cliff, would you do it? If the doctor said walk off a cliff, would you do it?
The doctor said Declan Rice was fit. # broken toe. The doctor said fucking Ben White was fit. Needed surgery. Arteta's pushing Thomas Partey back on the field. Oh, guess what? He was out for 4 months after that. Shall we go on? Gabriel Jesus, 4 knee surgeries or 4 big surgeries, whatever it is. Might be right the first time. Who knows? Rushing him back. Tommy Asu, rushing him back. What are we doing here? Oh, the same medical team, though, that said Saka's all right now. I wouldn't trust them to diagnose a fucking cold for one of my kids, this Arsenal medical team. Let alone a fucking professional footballer. What are we doing here? It's embarrassing. These like honestly, like these there's these Arsenal fans, mate. Do you know what they've got? The little princess syndrome. That's what these top gooners have got, with opinions like that. And I'm not just saying, and that is based on all of their opinions, but opinions like this about the Saka one. It's a little princess one. Little princess syndrome, where it's just, you look up into the sky and there's beautiful snowflakes falling down and you're twirling around in your beautiful princess Frozen dress, and life's so easy. It sparkles and glitter. Everyone's happy around you. You go back in your castle. The prince is going to rescue you from the dragon. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to do a thing. It's such an easy life in Princess Sparkle Glitter fucking Fairyland.
Yeah, don't have to slay the bloody dragon, do you? Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you know what I mean? It is. It's an apt thing. Top gooners are women. They are women. And most women, I can't say all women, but they are most women. By that, I mean, life is hard for a man. If you want to come out as a 30-year-old, because it takes a while to get to this stage for a man. If you want to be looked upon as a good sort of match for a lot of women, you need to probably have a good physique. You need to work on, unless you've got mad DNA, genetics. You probably need to have a good job, which you've had to work on since you started going to school. Then you've obviously you must have to have some form of good looking and whatever. You have to be successful. You have to have a personality. You have to have a good job. Everything you have to work for as a man to get yourself status. Everything you have to get status. You have to work for. What does a woman have to do? A slimish physique and big tits. Job done. Finished. They don't have to work as hard as a geezer. They just don't, and that's why they're like fucking top gooners. It's because everything's just so simple, isn't it? I would love it if I could, for my 35 years, and I started work at 15. I would love it if I could have just sat around and do you know what I mean, done bits, and then just everyone else gave me loads of money. I'd love that. That's a fucking dream. But the reality is, as a man, you don't. And the reality is, as Arsenal fans, bro, it don't work like that. You're living in a fucking fairyland. Like, you're living in a dream world, Neo.
At the end of the day, listen, at the end of the day, these so-called fans, they're up in their feelings, and they're the sort of people that will say, "Oh, but winning comes from the heart." There's a quote here. Okay, I'm gonna read you it. Winning comes from the heart. You just need to find it in the right place.
Yeah.
Do you know who said that quote? Former Tour de France winner Lance Armstrong. He was full of crap, and boys, so are these fuckers.
Yeah. One hung low definitely was full of absolute crap, man, wasn't he? Rashid, you've got to jump out, my friend.
Yeah.
Where can we find you, my brother?
Hey, bro, I just wanted to touch on the Saka thing before I leave.
Man. Yeah, you do your thing.
Look, the thing is about Saka, what I've seen before, in the past 3 years or 4 years, has Saka got us over the line? Why are we acting like Saka's Leo Messi? Look, I do like Saka, don't get me wrong, but let's not act like Saka's Leo Messi. Like he's a player, he's a great player, he's a good player, but rushing him back is your choice. If you want to rush him back, don't be surprised when he gets injured, because we tend to do this surprise thing a lot. Do you know what I'm saying? Because how many times have we seen him limp off the pitch and then we were surprised that he was injured? I don't know. Bro, play him or don't play him, bro. I don't see any difference, bro. What is he there for? To take corners, free kicks? Do what? There's nothing much to do. We're going to be defending 10 men, and then we've got Nelly up front, and that's the only chance we're going to get. We're going to get 1 chance or 2 chances a game. If they play a low block, that's 0 chances a game. That's 0 shots on target if they play a low block. So I don't know why this whole Saka thing, this whole Saka saga is all about, bro. I just think, look, let him play him. Let him play Saka. Let him play Saka. And then when we lose to Real Madrid, don't come back saying, oh, we had players injured. You didn't. You had Saka. So nobody was injured. Havertz, you never really rated him. Let's be honest. So let's not talk about that. Let's not do that. Bro, listen, what only thing you can do with these fans, these type of fans, is stay put. We'll build the Rico case on this Arteta, and then we just lock him up in a year. I mean, how long is it going to take for this fan base to see that this Arteta's not going to take us to the next level? He's our Brendan Rodgers. That's who he is. He's our Brendan Rodgers. Yeah. And it will come to a point where they will find out. And what is it going to take? 1 year? 2 years? I think Berta's job's going to start after Arteta leaves. That's when Berta comes in. He's going to bring him. I don't know if he's going to bring in a manager, but he's going to start bringing his own players, or the players that the club wants, because they tried the whole let's get Arteta his players, and it didn't work out. 30 players, 5 of them are only any good. But I'll leave it at that. Bro. Like, big up to every one of you. Big up to the chat. Hey, Aaron, thanks for having me on again.
Pleasure.
Carl, Macy, Natstar, Lawrence, big up to everyone, bro, and I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, man. Listen, what an absolute legend. Rashid's link is in the title. It's in the chat. I've just put it in there as well. What Rashid's got coming up is I don't know if he's doing it next Wednesday or not. You may have to hold me to that, but he's got his part 3, which I'm sure he'll be trying to get the existing panel on there to
I think it is part 3. Yeah, I think it is next Wednesday. How ironic is the day after the night after the Fulham game.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. You know, make sure you're following that, man. That's going to be an epic conclusion. Macy, what's your take on the old Saka thing, man? I haven't actually heard you talk about it, so I'm quite intrigued to. Well, I think I know what way you're going to go, but I'm always intrigued to see how you decorate it, because if you make me smile, man, you're a funny fucker. Go on, mate.
Appreciate it.
You're a geezer, mate. I love having you on.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, thanks, bro. So the Saka thing, I mean, I just think that I just don't want this manager to rush him back too quickly, because we need him for the most important game of our season. That's the Champions League, and Saka should just be man enough and say to Arteta, just use me for maybe perhaps maybe the short minutes, maybe the 80th minute, because what's the point of starting him against Fulham if he's not 100%? So you need to you need to save him for the important games. And this manager, he's gonna absolutely ruin his life if he starts him against Fulham. And Arteta, he's done that. He has rushed players way too quickly. The thing that he did with Rice when Declan had a broken toenail, rushing Tomiyasu back too quickly, and also
when Thomas Partey was, remember that game against Tottenham in the COVID season when they beat us 2-0. Thomas Partey was injured and he was begging Arteta, get me off, I'm injured. But then this manager just pushes him back off and says, yo, you still need to play. It's just the absolute like disgrace of this manager. He keeps on like risking, he puts these players under like too much pressure when they're not ready. And he's going to do the same to Saka. So if I'm that, I think the best thing now is to just use Ethan for the Fulham game and Everton game. But I'm not confident about the Fulham and Everton game. I think Fulham will beat us because I just think we're just gonna have to scam a draw or maybe a stinky 1-0 win. The same thing on how we did that against Chelsea, because Chelsea didn't do nothing on us. The only chance they created was Cucurella, and all than that, they didn't even test us. So either we beat Fulham, maybe we hand Fulham their first win at the Emirates, or in my point of view, we'll just have to stink out a draw at the Emirates, because like for me, I just think Fulham are flying this season because they're fighting for European football, because they're absolutely spanking a lot of teams. They beat Tottenham, remember, 2-0. And Ryan Sessegnon absolutely put the nail in the coffin against his old club. And big up to him. And I can imagine Smith Rowe, Iwobi, or Nelson, either three of them will score against us and they will put the nail in our coffin. So don't underestimate Fulham, and also don't underestimate Everton as well, because Everton, even though they're in a battle for relegation, I've seen them turn up in very important games against Liverpool, because at Goodison Park they drew 2-2 with Liverpool and they scored a late equalizer. So don't underestimate Everton. They always find a way to stink out something, and I respect them for that. And the Real Madrid game, I'm just not confident. I think we'll go out of the Champions League, and all these top gunners can cry, they can moan, bitch a lot. Oh, we weren't ready for Real Madrid. Oh, don't give me these excuses. Real Madrid will always be far superior than us. We'll never be like them or Bayern Munich, because we're not ready to be like them, because Real Madrid are the levels. They're the highest of the high.
It's the pinnacle, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the pinnacle. They are the absolute pinnacle in football. Let's just absolutely get it right. I have got my brother to my right. Cole needs to shoot. Listen, man, 2 hours and 37 minutes and 40 seconds of your time, and every single one of them is double.
You make it sound like it's a Royal Rumble appearance.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's how we do. And when I'm going to get out my brothers, and I appreciate the time that they're giving me into the channel, and to yourselves, of course I am, man. Big up to you, brother. Yeah, and in the ring, Cole. Where can we find you, my brother? And your link will also now be posted in the chat. Shout your thing out. What have you got coming up? Pause.
Yeah, you can find me on my channel, Gundown UK. You can find me on Twitter, KB ArsenalPax32. If you want to see me get into a spat with someone, you're more than welcome to follow me on that. And you'll see me on Instagram, GundownUK_33. I'll have my call-in show tomorrow. So the link will be out in the chat. It'll be pinned. So anybody who wants to come on and have their say, they're more than absolutely welcome to. And Famzone TV, you don't want the smoke I'd give you. You don't. But if you do, 9:30 tomorrow night, UK time, come onto my channel and let's have this discussion, because you've rattled my cage now. When someone says to come onto their show, I hope it's a genuine thing. But when it turns out that it's not, that's when I have a big issue. Disingenuous liars. Dealt with it all my life, and I didn't need it on this platform. So, if you want to have this talk, you know where to find me tomorrow night on the Gundown UK channel. That's where you'll find me. And with that note, peace out. Good night. God bless. And remember, rule number 4, when you go to the gym for the very first time, ignore the arsehole.
I mean, unless it's attached to a Latina 30-year-old absolute MILF, and then don't ignore the arsehole. stare at it the whole time, make sure she's uncomfortable, and maybe take a couple of sneaky photos. No, don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
That's apparently socially
Just
unacceptable.
make sure that they don't know. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah,
No,
just mentally snap it. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Because, I mean, Latinas have great backsides, don't they? But, yeah, Cole, I mean, that take a left turn, doesn't it? But, they do have good backsides, don't they? Big up the Latinas and big up Cole as well. Thank you very much for your time. I'll post you a link in the chat, my friend.
No worries, buddy. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
big up to the chat. Big up to Natstar. Big up to Macy. Big up to you, Lawrence, and everybody else. Jez, Rashid, everybody else who I might have missed out their names. But absolute pleasure as always. And this has become my general Friday nights now. So and look forward to it even better. And take care. And I will see you on TJ's channel at 10. So
buzz him
food because I'm flagging. So I gotta go.
Get some grub inside you for crying out loud, isn't it? Yeah. Feel that little tummy. Come on, son.
Right.
Come on.
Peace out, people.
Big up to Carl chat. Yeah, what we'll do is I will come to the chat quickly, do you know what I mean? And just say hello to a few people. I will be on as well. Don't forget, I will be on TJ Warren's The American Idiot Show with the wonderful TJ himself and Dow. I absolutely love Dow as well. Do you know what I mean? So make sure you follow that. I will post a link to that just before we shoot. I'm just going to go to a couple of people. Yeah, but my geezer's even turned up. I know he's probably not still in the chat in a minute because that was about 10-15 minutes ago. But man, listen, thank you very much. The Ludaguna, what a superstar. And if you haven't already, I mean, what's the fucking matter with you? Go and give the Ludaguna an absolute follow over there, man. Do you know what I mean? What we're doing if you haven't already done that. Come on, people, wake up. Mr. Waffle, it just shows if Saka starts, it's only thinking of himself. Narcissistic Mikel Arteta, that's all he does. All he does is think about himself. Run the likes up, folks. Yeah, man, that's it. Listen to Deluded, man. Do you know what I mean? Run them likes up. Oh, what we doing here? We're going on a mad thing. Just chill out, right? Yeah, that's it. Right, we got Dale Summers. How you doing, brother? Look what happened to Owen when he got rushed back from injury. Exactly. It ruined the last 7 years of his career. This is what we're talking about. Yeah, we're going off because it's a great point. Do you know what I mean, Dio, brother? Big up to you, man. Doctors have never been wrong. Tumbleweed. Never get anything wrong, do they? Do you know what I mean? They never get anything wrong. You got to trust the doctors. Like I said before, I wouldn't trust these Arsenal doctors diagnosing a cold, mate. They are absolutely shocking. Lawrence, what's your take on the whole should Saka be back? Because he's announced fit with our trustworthy doctors. What's your take on it, my friend? And I think I know where you're going to go with it.
Well, it's a case of damned if we do and damned if we don't. This basically comes down to this clown of a manager not bringing in reinforcements during the summer. Now we're in this situation where we've got our star player who's not 100% fit. Let's not kid ourselves. He may be back in training, but he's not 100% fit. And the question we've got to, Arteta's got to ask is, do I just put him on the subs bench on Tuesday night? Or do I give him a full 45 minutes? Or do I rest him on Tuesday and wait until the Everton game? And then fingers crossed, hoping he gets through that and he'll be ready to play. But what's the alternative? Fucking Raheem Sterling. Can you see him? You see Sterling being a match winner for us on against Real Madrid? I don't. And as I keep saying this, I just wish people would fucking wake up. These ostriches in our fan base. I call them ostriches because they wear Arteta tinted specs and they stick their heads in the ground when the pressure is on. Because when they're forced into a corner, I ask them a question about whether this club is called Arsenal FC or Arteta FC. Guess what? They stick their head in the ground and avoid answering that question. But I'm waiting. I'm waiting until April the 17th. That's the day after we get knocked out by Real Madrid in the Champions League, because I've got the told you so speech waiting that I'm going to post on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and tell these cunts what I think of them. And I'll say, I told you so. All these Muppets who think we've got Super Mick Arteta, I'm going to rip them a new arsehole.
I bloody hope you do, mate. I bloody hope you do. I'm going to look forward to all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
hate doing that. And I hate to do that because I want us to beat Real Madrid. But I'm a realist. You know, I see things for what they are. I don't live in a fantasy world. I'm not trying to get on a dating show. You know, I want what is best for Arsenal. But under this clown and under this regime that we've got, we're going nowhere. If this is progression, then I hate to see what regression is.
Well, we're watching it now, regression. We're watching it now, Lawrence, my brother.
I come from a time, you know, where I remember Arsenal fighting against relegation under Bertie Mee for 2 successive seasons in the 70s. And Bertie Mee, God rest his soul, at least he knew he couldn't take the team any further. And he had the integrity to hand in his resignation and hand the reins over to Terry Neal. Not like this fucking clown who's dragging us back to those dark days of the mid-70s. Because that's what's going to happen. I'm telling you, I know what's going to happen next season. I know what's going to happen next season. And it's not a pretty picture. Yeah. Sorry to be a doom and gloom merchant, but that's how I think.
Listen, it's not doom and gloom, is it, man? You're speaking with facts and what you see with your eyes. All you're doing is articulating your truth, innit? And I just don't think people can handle that little narrative that, you know, when maybe not negative or toxic, we're just honestly portraying verbally what we're seeing on the field. And if you put them two together, it's not positive, is it? I'll tell you why it's not positive, because we're not winning anything. That's what we're in the game for. That's what we're in the game for. That, like, we're not even playing good football. We can see that with these. Do you know what I mean? Like, there ain't much to be positive about. You told me, and I think this is what Top Gooners, I've always been good at putting myself in other people's shoes and seeing scenarios and trying my best to see things from other point of views, I've always been good at that. If our Top Gooners seriously ask themselves to just go, take yourself back to 2019, 21st of December, when Mikel Arteta, I think, played his first game where he was appointed, there or thereabouts, 22nd, it might have been, whatever, there's only a day between it. And you said, do you know what? In 5.5 years, you're not going to win anything. Would you be disappointed after you've been told to trust the process? You would be. You might not want to admit it on cam because it might affect your views. You might not want to admit it on cam because you might not get the super chats or the whatever, however the algorithm works here. I don't understand it. But do you know what? I bet you deep down here, you know you'll be massively disappointed with the way it's gone now. Because listen, I'm not like a Kenny or a DJB. I've had my Arsenal season ticket for a few years, but not anywhere near as long as them. My first and only FA Cup final was in 2017. And of course, in 2020, it was COVID, so none of us could go. I still remember fondly, because that was my first live cup final. There's nothing like it. And that was an FA Cup. You know what I mean? It's not a Champions League in that. The point I'm trying to make is, trust me, like, a lot of the fans haven't seen Arsenal's invincible side. We have. I grew up watching that side. I was 16 when we won the invincible side. I was very, very well in tune with how Arsenal Football Club operate and played, and I loved them to pieces as much as I do now. That watching that Wembley 2017, that final, it's different. And that's not to put down anyone that watched it on telly. I'm not saying anything like that. Watch it, support it however you bloody like. I was lucky enough because I had a season ticket to go and watch it at Wembley, and it's fucking different. Trust me. That is what I spend hours and hours, hundreds of hours every year, thousands maybe, I don't know. I'll have to do the math. And thousands of pounds supporting Arsenal. That's what I do it for. I don't do it for progress. I can give a shit about progress. That's what I'm doing at the end of the year. I can give a toss. I'd finish 17th and win the FA Cup all day long, every single time. Why? Because I'll remember that. I won't remember these years of second places. I won't. I just won't. Who remembers second place? Boys, we're all old enough. Let's cast our mind back the last time we finished second place 3 times in a row. When was that? 99, 2000, 2001. That was sandwiched between 2 double winning teams. 1998 and 2002. Sandwiched between 2 of the greatest Arsenal sides ever made. What we got now? It's sandwiched between bottling the fucking 5th place against Tottenham 3-0 at their shitty gaff. And then God knows what happens next season. Come on, man. Natster, what we doing here, Bob?
Yeah, do you get a trophy? Do you get a trophy for finishing second?
No, it's not the Olympics. It's not the Olympics.
No.
There's
silver medal is silver medal. But here's the thing. I remember, I'll just say this very quickly. I remember watching the 2009 World Championships in Berlin. Usain Bolt won the 100 meters with a world record of 9.58 seconds. And he's still the fastest man on the planet. That's what 100 meters is.
Yeah.
We know this. Lawrence, you'll know this as well, especially living in the States.
Yeah.
Who finished second in that race? Because I remember watching that live.
Great point.
Tyson Gay,
fucking knows. It's
spelled G-A. No, but yeah, Tyson Gay, American sprinter. He finished second with a 9.71, and I think to this day is still a national record for American sprinters in 100 meters. 9.71. He finished second. He got the silver medal in the World Championships. But no one really talks about that because it's Usain Bolt, and everyone knows who Usain Bolt is. Do you know what I'm saying? It's about winning. Why are we risking Saka's whole career to get to a semi-final? To get a semi, bruv. Literally, you're risking everything to get a fucking semi. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? No, you risk it all to go all the way. At least that's more understandable. You never risk it all for a semi, bruv. No chance. That makes no sense. Like, and it's a quarter final. Like we're literally trying to risk him at a quarter final to get to bruv. No, I can't. There is no logical explanation. No logical explanation whatsoever as to why these fuckers still insist on playing Bukayo Saka. Oh, bring him on for 30 minutes to go? That Real Madrid-Arsenal game, especially in the second leg at the Bernabeu, that's going to be a different game to what's at home. I reckon the Emirates leg, the first leg, is going to be an absolute stinkfest. But then the second leg, it will be a bit more lively. Yeah, there'll be stinky elements, don't get it twisted, but it'll be a lot more lively. The tempo will be up because Real Madrid will be on it. They'll be fully on it. They'll go for that shit. And then you're going to bring Saka on with 15 minutes to go, 20 minutes to go to try and get a winner. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just, no. I don't see any kind of process reasoning behind it. And then we get PSG. Better yet, we get Aston Villa. Let's just say, for argument's sake, we do beat Real Madrid by a goal, yeah?
Yeah.
And then Aston Villa do the unthinkable. Well, it's not really the unthinkable, but let's say they beat PSG, right? Wouldn't it be typical, very typical, biblical stinker and hooks? We get Aston Villa in the semi and we lose to them on aggregate. Unai Emery, Mr. Good Evening, again. I will be here for it. Because all of this, play Saka, but we need him, at the highest stage against Real Madrid and all that. Okay, cool. What about Aston Villa then? Do you risk him for that? And then what if he breaks down? What if we lose? Then what happens? Because trust me, I'll be here for that. I'll be waiting. And we will be there either way. But to be honest, I don't think we're getting past Real Madrid. Even the Fulham game, like it is what it is. And then Everton, I reckon the season's done. Berta's, like I said earlier, Berta's just waiting in the wings, just chilling, seeing what's going on. And then he'll make his decisions then.
Just before you go there, Lawrence, I do have to jump in there. What I've done for our friend in the chat, and his name is Guna Russ in the chat. He does, and you'll probably seen if you watch Dan Pot stuff. He does a lot of artworks, photography, and it's all. Well, it's not all, but you know, obviously for us, it's Arsenal based. I've just pinned his link in the chat. So have a little click on that, Russell Hogg Photography. There's a lot of interest in Arsenal pieces there. He doesn't just do, you know, things like printouts, you know, just canvases and things like that. I've gone on there myself, and he does lovely, all varied stuff as well. Like, you know, he's done like cushion covers and photos, printouts, all of that. So for anyone in the chat, I've pinned it the link. Go and have a little look on his channel, man. I'm also will be not for up here because I've got this background set. But I will be getting something for myself from Russell very, very, very soon. So yeah, people, man, go and have a little check out for that. But sorry to interrupt you there, Lawrence.
Yeah, I know Russell Hogg very well. You know, I speak to him every day.
Really good stuff. Really good stuff. When I'm on that website. Check it out.
He's a magician. He's a magician. The guy is a diamond.
Yeah.
What I was saying. Yeah, wouldn't it be typical Arsenal that Liverpool fold in the last few weeks of the season and we bottle it even more and we end up 5th or 6th? You know, you can see it happening.
Yeah, yeah.
I did predict 6th place.
Yeah.
I did say we could finish 6th. But apparently I'm toxic and negative. Apparently I'm chatting shit.
Yeah,
well, let's see. Let's see what happens. After the Bernabeu, let's see exactly what happens. Because trust me, once that's all dead and buried in the water, this team will collapse. Like they'll be like, that's it, we're done. Because they've had enough of the manager. The only reason why this team is remotely playing, even at best half decent, is because of the Champions League. What happened last season? The only reason why the players were kind of still getting decent enough results is because there was a league title on the line. After Real Madrid, there's nothing to play for. They will do that. 100%. Best believe they'll down tools, they'll do whatever because they've had enough. They're sick and tired of this manager, just like we all are. And
then Saliba and Gabriel will join Real Madrid.
Yep.
And you know, and we'll be back to square one.
Yeah. Trying to find gems, trying to find free agents.
We'll be back to phase 1 of the 5-year process.
Rinse and repeat.
We're back there already. I've done a show a little while ago. I think it might have been about 2 months ago, maybe 2-3 months ago, there or thereabouts. And even then, I called it Rebuild 2.0, and I went through everything, like all of the stats and things like that. That was 3 months ago, man. Like, how are we in Rebuild 2.0? Like, we're in just phase 1.1 now, didn't we? Like, or are we in like phase 1 beta? Or something like that. Like, what? How have we managed to get to this scenario? And just sort of always telling it back to the point that I'd make. How have we neglected that strike force so bad? Like, the strike force is embarrassing. Now we had an all right strike force when he took over. We had Pepe, Lacazette, and Aubameyang. Yeah, and in the wings was a Saka and a Nelson. At the time, you know, we thought Nelson might be quite promising. You know, so let's just take
Martinelli as well. Yeah, Martinelli was doing well under Unai Emery.
Right.
Up front.
At that time, that's a healthy strike force, a real healthy strike force. What the fuck's happened? Lawrence, what the fuck has happened to that strike force? And do you know what as well? This is what kills me. And I always say it about this summer. And as always, as Arsenal fans, people, we always go back to this summer. And why I'll go back to this summer is I'll tell you. We needed a striker. We needed a replacement, competition for Saka, a left winger. Why do we also need a left winger? Arteta knew that we needed a left winger a couple of years ago when he tried signing Mudryk for 90 million while Martinelli was off the back of a phenomenal season. So he knows that we need attackers. Let's get it right. Martinelli was having the season of his life when he bid 90 million for Mudryk. Let's just get it right.
Yeah.
He knows that he wanted to upgrade in that position. 18 months later, he still hasn't done anything. Literally hasn't done anything there. He had the opportunity. One sec, Lawrence, just very quickly. He had the opportunity to sign a striker this year. Gyökeres had that release clause. What did he do? He spent the Gyökeres money on a centre-back in Calafiori you can't fucking defend and plays him left-back. And he spent 35-40 million on a Giza with 1 year left on his contract, just 28, nearly 29. And Mourinho is now playing up front. Like, and in that same time, yes, while I can condone the exits of a Nelson and a Vieira and an Eddie Nketiah, and obviously the latter that I'm about to say, the Eddie Nketiahs and the and ESR, I thought that 65 million we recouped was going to go on a striker. And they let four forward attacking players leave and didn't fucking replace them. We just went with 2 defenders. What are we doing here? And then you're scratching your nut and thinking, well, they're all getting the same injury. Why is everyone getting hamstring and knee injuries? And they're all up top. Oh, yeah, because it's our weakest position with the less amount of players in there. Why is that? Oh, yeah, so what happens when you overplay them? They get hamstring injuries. They get injuries. Oh, yeah, so what happens when they get injuries? Oh, yeah, we haven't really got much depth, so we have to play more. What happens if we play them more because we've got 1 man down? Oh, yeah, we get more injuries. So now we've got 2 men down. But now what happens now that we've got 2 men down? We're having to overplay them even more. What happens? Oh, we get another man injured. It's not rocket science, is it? It's not rocket science. It's failure on multiple levels. Board, manager, all of them. Failure. Epic failure.
Yeah. He hasn't brought in 1 striker since Aubameyang and Lacazette left the club.
Pathetic.
Not one in 5 to 6 years since he's been manager at this club. Not one effort to bring in 1 out-and-out striker that can score at least 20 to 25 goals in a season.
Mate,
and everyone's saying, we've got Super Mick Arteta. He knows exactly what we need. Right, fuck he does.
They have to change that song now, you know. Tierney at the back, well, he's gone.
Yeah.
Gabby in attack, well, he'll be gone very shortly. So
they still think Arsenal are on the way to Champions League. It's like just the very fact that the inception, just the fact that the inception of that song was around 60,000 people singing that we're going back to qualify for the Champions League is fucking embarrassing in itself. Arsenal fans are chanting that we're going to qualify for the Champions League. Like, come on, man, do me a favour.
Whoever gave that authorization to make North London Forever our fucking theme song, whatever the fuck you want to call it, like they need a slap. The on-site settings, bruv. Like, I'm sorry, like, and not sorry at the same time. Like, these people are beyond deluded, and a lot of them can't be saved, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are not ready to be unplugged. And that's what we're dealing with. The Arteta matrix is still in full effect. However, with this Berta guy coming in, he's just in the background, chilling. You know, Arsenal doing this dating show bollocks, this, you know, all these merch and all these fucking bullshit ass fucking Twitter posts, all forms of social media posts, you know. Like, remember, what was it last year against Bayern Munich? Oh, a Champions League campaign to be proud of. Fuck off, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all bullshit. I just see through all of the lies, all of the deception, inception as well of all of this crap. It's a great film, by the way. You should check it out if you haven't, you know. But still, like, they're living in cuckoo land. They're living in a dream world, proper.
Yeah.
And you have ex-players like Martin Keown. I mean, I sent you that video. Who thinks he's better than Tony Adams?
I almost couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, bruv. I was like, "Is this a troll?" Not saying you were trolling me, Lawrence, but I was like, when I saw the video, I was like, "This guy must be trolling. This must be like a pre-April Fool's kind of, you know, skit or whatever." I was like, but he was actually dead serious. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Cristiano Ronaldo. CRY7, bruv. You're not even the best Ronaldo. Have some of that. You see you next Tuesday, bruv. Less of that. You see what I mean? These scrubby players, and I'm not saying Cristiano's a scrub. Don't get it twisted. However, there's greatness and then there's all-time great, and Cristiano Ronaldo will never be that. Never has been and never will be, bruv. Period. You know, and then Martin Keown thinking he's better than Tony Adams. Do me a fucking favour, mate. Do me a favour. Like, it's a joke, bruv. Like, you couldn't even get in ahead of Colo fucking Toure, bruv. Colo Toure. In the Invincible season, because after that fucking hack job you did against Man United that almost cost us our invincible run, by the way, you know what I'm saying? We all saw it. Either you were at the game or watching it on Sky Sports. I was doing the latter, and I was only 10 anyway at the time, but I digress.
Yeah.
You know, like Martin Tyler's like, oh, he's missed it. He's hit the bar. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we remember that shit. But people will conveniently forget who fucking conceded the penalty in the first place. And it was a penalty. It was a penalty. And that's Martin Keown. Sol Campbell weren't doing that shit. Colo Toure weren't doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, do you know what I'm saying? They were doing them kind of fouls outside the box. But inside the box, they weren't doing that shit. And obviously, a year on after that, that infamous Wazza dive, you know, like, Sol Campbell ain't having it, but you know, it is what it is. And like, too many people want to, you know, do all of this stats merchants, you know, GA merchants, fucking efficiency merchants. That's what I fucking call it. How about use your fucking eyes and watch the bloody game? Watch the bleeding game and see what this player's doing, what that player's doing. Because that will tell you how effective they are or not. Football is a very simple game, complicated by spackers. Plain and simple. Very simple game, complicated by spackers. They don't think, they don't have no they don't have no nous, nothing going on in their fat noggins of theirs. And I've got a big fucking noggin as well, but still.
I know, I wouldn't like a headbutt of you, Natster. I'm telling you that.
Look, headbutt's not even my thing. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't need to. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that, mate. I prefer not to speak. I prefer not to speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. Yeah, very big trouble, mate. You know, mate. You know. We know. So, like, yeah, it's for me. Like, I just get tired of talking about that shit, and you wonder why I want to talk about other shit as well. But again, it's Arsenal's my club, innit? But with Berta, there's always that little bit of with everyone else, it's the process, it's the PR machine, and all that crap. But for me, it's Berta. That's the only thing that has me clinging on. That's the only reason why I'm doing this, why I'm here. Do you know what I'm saying? While I'm doing my content. And I'll be doing more frequently, you know, going forward, of course, it's because there's that always slight light at the end of the tunnel. You know, we've been through so much shit. There's so much bullshit that's happened with the Wenger, with the, you know, Unai Emery, and then now obviously with Arteta. But then Berta comes in like 5-6 years later, and I'm just like, this just can't be, man. Like it's almost like we don't deserve. Well, we deserve it, but the rest of the fan base doesn't deserve it. So it's just like, I just want him to just sit down, get in that hot seat, and just work his magic, bruv. Like just get rid of this Paella Pulis, bruv. Get rid of Lego Head once and for all. And I have a feeling as well that, like Matty said, Southern Gooner, big up your damn self as well every time.
We love Matty on this show.
Yeah, of course. Much love to Matty, always. He said that something along the lines of that Josh brought Berta into Saka Arteta because he doesn't want to do it himself. And to be perfectly honest, I could see that happening. Whether it's in a year's time, 6 months' time, 9 months' time, even if it takes a couple of years. Because that's the thing. Josh wants to end it on good terms, you know? Good relations. Good fucking relations. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's where we're at, man. That is exactly where we're at, brother. Period.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm going to jump in there. What I want to say as well is, listen, thank you very much to everyone in the chat that's watched over this sort of period. Do you know what I mean? It's been absolutely lit, and the chat first class, man. I'm always so privileged. You know what I mean? That people come in and watch, tune in the show. You know, we try our best to deliver all the content that we can, and I just sort of hope, if anyone ain't been here, Gunnar Ross, I know you jumped in a little bit late. You might want to have a little rewatch because we chefed up a little bit of Charles Watts and all the nonsense that he sort of talks about. So that was a fantastic start to the show. Man, it's been an absolute fantastic. And as well, thank you very much for all the guests that we've had on today. I think we've had about 10 or 11 people jump in and out. Do you know what I mean? At all various times. I'm extremely grateful for that. Absolutely grateful. I'll never not be. It's when I sort of think about doing YouTube now, it's sort of semi-second nature. I'm still, probably got so much to learn, but I'm still so grateful that I'm able to put my voice out here and have some phenomenal guests on here, man. Do you know what I mean? There's been phenomenal people in the chat. Big up Russ in the chat. AFC always, Hendo. Do you know what I mean? Boy, Tendio, you've been jumping in the chat recently. You got Timmy, hello. You've had a little jump in off Jezz's, man. Big up to you. Do you know what I mean? Mr. Waffles been all here. Do you know what I mean? Some of the OGs, Prime, you've here. It's all appreciated. And do you know what as well? Big up to Miss Potts. Absolute superstar of a woman she is. Big up to DG. Do you know what I mean? Deluded Guna, go over and give him a follow. He's been kind enough out of his what I'm sure is going to be an extremely busy schedule to just come in and drop a like, throw a few comments in. What a gentleman that is. Go over and support him. And Matty at the Southern Guna. Do you know what I mean? He's an absolute superstar himself. We will obviously, of course, be wrapping up there. I will be as well on with TJ Warren and the wonderful Dow on the American Idiot show at 10 o'clock. So in 45 minutes time, I'm very, very, very much looking forward to them. I value them two's opinion so much. And them two, along with Southern Guna and a lot of other American fans, are an actual shining lights, that horrible sort of thing where people say, oh, they're Yanks, they don't know nothing, they don't know this. Let me tell you, fucking they know a lot about this football club and they sacrifice a lot to watch it. So there's utmost amount of respect, and to this gentleman as well. So big up to them, man. Go on, Lawrence. I'd see you want to say something there, bro.
Yeah, I just want to put it on the record. I was born in Cockfosters.
Yeah,
I grew up in Cockfosters, right? Right, and I moved to Los Angeles in 1991. Okay, I thought I was only going to be here for the holiday period because I just lost my
spring
job.
Break, yeah.
Yeah. I lost my job at British Telecom. Hate to give them a plug. Okay, and my initial plan was to spend the holiday period with my family out here and then go back to England and start looking for work. But I remember my family put my name forward into the green card lottery without telling me. The next thing I know, it gets pulled out of the hat. I'm having to go back to London to get interviewed at the American Embassy. And I got my green card, right? I've been here for nearly 35 years. And according to these top gooners, as you call them, or as I call them, ostriches, I'm a Yank. And the last time I looked on a map, I couldn't find Cockfosters in California. Last time I looked, it was still at the end of the Piccadilly line on the London Underground.
Yep.
And yet I have to cope with these dickheads who think because I live out here, I'm a septic myself.
None of you are septic, man. Do you know what I mean? You're American.
They tell you like you fled the country
English,
and all of that for like tax
American,
reasons and all of this bullshit every time. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only reason. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, live in the real world.
It comes down to that saying that when you assume something, you make an ass out of you as well as me.
Yeah. Do you know where I first read that in a Stephen King book? I can't remember what one it was, but that's the first time I'd ever heard that. Yeah. So, and as well, do you know what I mean? To couple that point, and I've never said anything like this on the channel before, but it's worth saying now. I don't care personally, I promise you, and don't take their I don't care thing too serious. I don't give a toss what you look like, if you're pretty or you're ugly, if you're black, if you're white, if you're Asian, you're English, you're African, you're whatever. I don't give a fuck if you're male or female or anything in between. I couldn't give a fuck if you're tall or small or you're fat or you're thin. I promise you, I could not give a further of a fuck. If you're not an absolute bellend and you want to talk about Arsenal, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I don't care. Just as long as you're not a massive helmet and you can talk about Arsenal, I'm all for that. That's why I've never really been there. Yeah, you yank don't know about football. I don't care about that. If he does, I'll listen. If he don't, I'll say he ain't got a fucking clue. I don't like that all segregation and all that bollocks. And it's the same with me and people in general who I like and associate and go out with. I'll associate with anyone. I don't care if they, as long as they're not a massive see you next Tuesday. I've got something I actually call a twatometer, and I just sit there and think it don't matter what look like and what shape you're packaged in. If you're a twat, you're a twat, and you're dead to me from the second I speak to you. But if you're not, couldn't give a fuck what you're packaged in. Let's have a chat, mate. I'm all for it. So that's why I'm all pro. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You know what I mean? Just don't be a fucking see you next Tuesday. And we're all good my end. I couldn't give a fuck about the aesthetics of the rest of it. I really couldn't give a shit. Innit?
Yeah, like Nathan from last week.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck's sake. Oh, it's fucking bad.
They're your biggest admirers, bro. They're the biggest supporters. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we can cuss them all they like, but they'll always tune in one way or the other. They'll always support the team one way or the other, and that's mainly the views. They'll get the engagement up as well. So big up to them as well. Fuck them at the same time, but big them up at the same time as well. It's all fucked, mate. But it is what it is. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, cameras moving a bit, you know, like whatever. But you know, that's just life. You know, you just got to deal with the cards that you're dealt with. But I'll sort it out. I'll always find a way, as I do. You find a way, Aaron. Lawrence, you find a way. Carl, Normski, Jez, Rashid, big up all of them. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, Macy, like Shane, they'll always find a way. And then obviously you got the Guns and you got the North Sides of the world, the DGs, big up. Do you know what I'm saying? Matty, like, we'll always find a way. And like you mentioned before, Aaron, this is a community and we will all support each other. We'll all help each other out the best way we can with everything that's going on in our lives, wherever we're at in the world, whether it's London, whatever part of London, whether it's north of England, like Manny, whether it's California, whether it's Africa, whether it's fucking Tokyo, I don't care, bro. You know, like, there's no amount of divide and conquer that's going to stop what we're saying and what we're doing. And the message ultimately is to get this club back to where it should be, what we were promised when we left Highbury, what Peter Hillwood said, that we're going to compete with the best in the world, the Real Madrids, the Bayern Munichs and that, the Barcelonas, the Juventuses, more so at that time than now. Like, I'm still waiting, bruv. I'm 30 years old and I'm still waiting. I don't want to wait another 30 years to win another fucking league title or a Champions League.
Nastor, I'm 65 years old. How much longer do I have to fucking wait?
Exactly.
I'm an OAP.
Yeah, you don't want to wait another 10 years, never mind 20 or 30 years, bruv, respectfully. Like, it's, we're not waiting. I don't care if you're 18 years old. I don't care if you're 20. I don't care if you're like a junior gooner, like that's 10 or 15, whatever. Like, if you want to wait 20, 30 years, that's on you, but don't expect us to wait anymore. And there's more younger fans that aren't willing to wait because some of them have had enough as well. And they see what we're saying. It's like, well, you know what? Maybe Aaron has a point. Maybe Lawrence has a point. Maybe Natster has a point. And all these other people that have a point, Guns and Northside, etc. Do you know what I mean? Yes, we do have a fucking point. We're not afraid to say it. We're not afraid to come on camera, pause. You know, we're not afraid to, you know, say our opinion, speak our mind, and all of that shit, yeah? We're just here shooting our shit, pause again, and, you know, riff-raffing, whatever, but we ain't capping. Do you know what I mean? So, like, we just do what we do. We say what we say, no filter for the most part, and we care about this football club. We want it to be successful. If you watch sport, any sport, football's not even the only sport I watch. You know, I follow rugby, innit? I used to play the fucking game. You know, it is what it is, but the premise is still the same. In rugby, I want England to win. I want Bath to win. I did a video like about a week ago or so talking about how Bath won their first trophy in 17 years. Bath Rugby, one of the oldest institutions in Britain, in England, and Bath Rugby actually started as a football club, if you didn't know that. 1865, bruv. Arsenal hasn't been around for that long, but not too far off. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's, Tottenham started out as a cricket club, I believe. Man City, Man United, something similar. Do you know what I'm saying? Whether it's cricket club, whether it's rugby club, do you know what I mean? Every club has a fucking history. And you don't want to be, a team that doesn't win for years and years and years. Otherwise, we are a spicy Spurs. Point blank. We are. Need that.
But boys,
and next year,
go on. You finish up, Lawrence, and then I'll wrap up.
Yeah. And next year, this club that we all love turns 140 years old.
It does indeed, mate. It's madness, and still no top tier European trophy. Just before I close up, I just want to finish up on the results. I put a poll in my chat, in which it asked, how did Charles Watts and his Arsenal revolution turn out? 15% of you, I'm quite surprised 15% of you voted success. 30% of you voted failure. And 53% of you, good for you, shit book, shit fan. On that note, and on that bombshell, we will go, man. All the best, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. Big up. Arteta.